thin. I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be
Hello and welcome everybody to the RocketDash TV Twitch, and I'm Gavastian. I'm here joined by the one and only Juicy, and we have a tournament for you. What we have on the docket today, Juicy? What kind of exciting things do we have?
Well, Gavastrian, we have an absolutely lovely summer dash. It's very hot outside. It's not as hot as it used to be in the last week, but we've got some great Rocket League. We've been absolutely spoiled with the amount of good Rocket League that we've had so far. That was RLCS teams mainly, but we have some bubble action going on right here as well during the Rocket Dash Summer Dash, which features a nice, cheeky €300 prize pool. That's not bad, Gavastrian.
That's definitely not bad, especially for such a lovely tournament set up by a community of a couple of admins and people that just wanted to get together, wanted to make something bigger, and that created this Rocket Dash like tournament. I love these kind of things. I love the kind of people that come towards the chat. So everybody, hello in the chat as well. Lovely to have all of you here. Get your friends in here. Get your grandma on here. We're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some Rocket League, and we're gonna have Vibin and Super Mode against each other here. And those are two very well. At least I know Super Mode from the bubble scene. I've seen them around a lot. What kind of information do we have about them?
Well, throw everything that you know out of the window because this Supermode squad is fairly new. Another Supermode roster competed in the Superstar League not too long ago. I think that was about 3 months ago where that finished off. That was a very good roster featuring Gooch and Rubix, if my memory serves me correctly, and that team tore stuff up. However, these guys fairly new. Mingo, Taurus, and Kill are their names. I have seen them around. They had some decent results, I believe, also in the qualifier for ROCSX, but couldn't even get into the top 32 in Europe. They got decently close, but not close enough. So I'm expecting something from them, but to me, there still isn't enough to really say this is a team that can make it or can't make it.
No, true. I mean, it is. You have a name, and with that name comes a reputation, and with that, you can start expecting too much from yourself, and that could definitely fall flat. But I've seen Supermode also play in the open qualifiers for the Earth Elemental series as well, and they play pretty much up to standard there. My memory is not good enough to know that if they made it or not, but that's something I can come back to later, of course. With that, we have Vibin as well, which is another team that I'm now going to quickly look at, see what kind of roster we have there. Oh, Crispy's on the roster, and Spectre. Oh,
you
dear.
sound pleasantly surprised.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, these are very good people. I love always seeing them come by and seeing them play. So I'm very excited to cast them even more.
Yeah, they should be given Supermode a fight. In terms of seeding, there is a fair distance between the two, and it favors Supermode. I still think that Supermode can take this one as well, and it should actually take this one. However, to quickly highlight, the tournament so far hasn't been without casualties, Gavastrian. I'm not sure if you've had a look at the bracket yourself, but Esportsburg, who I believe got second seed for the tournament, and rightly so, which features now the roster of Growly, Livefox, and MD. They got rid of Fapso, but they didn't end up going too well. They dropped down to 6.45i with Classic Brain and Aqua, so we lost that team. We also lost Pioneers featuring our fellow Dutchman, Gek. And Momentum Shift is also losing out to an absolutely lovely team name of Feest u overzet det du Grim. which is a treat to pronounce.
Kudos to you. That's one heck of a pronunciation there. I couldn't have done it better myself. But yeah, it's for me. It's very sad to see Esportsburg fall because it's one of those teams that I've enjoyed casting in. It's again a little bit of a different roster, but Growly deserves all the success he is getting and all the chances on the bigger teams after his performance in the salt mine and everything he's done there. And Esportsburg has been a group that I've always seen as a team that plays so good defensively. They have a wall that they just work off of counter attacks, and that's the kind of play that I'm probably expecting because there's a couple of people from the roster still on there that they are going to perform that way. But sadly, that wasn't good enough, and we're just getting different and different teams now coming in here. And I'm hoping we can get the games rolling soon, of course, because that is always the big meat. We are now talking about the buns. We're now talking about all the extra stuff around a tournament and prize pool and everything else. But it's always that meatiness of games that I'm always very much in love with.
Me too, and I hope that these two teams can provide it for us. Gavastron is Vibin in the blue against Super Mode in the orange. All players are ready, casters are ready. Hopefully everyone watching is ready for some great Rocket League as well, which should be featuring on this channel very, very shortly.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting kickoff, like losing it right away for Supermode, just giving away so much pressure there. I'm always wondering what kind of things do you like to look for in teams when you're looking at kickoffs specifically?
Oh, kickoffs are so tough, Fashion. They are so tough, and they're such make or break, and however much you'd like them not to be. In this case, it wasn't the case, since we do see Supermode grabbing the win after, or grabbing the first goal after losing that initial kickoff, but they really set the tone. It is not as bad in threes as it is in ones, but there's so many teams that completely drop the ball and end up losing series on kickoffs alone.
Yeah, and I know you yourself are our coach as well. You get the chance of actually helping teams work on their kickoffs. One of those things I always wonder, because I coach as well myself, and I work a lot of strategy into it. I love having prepared kickoffs for my teams, being like, okay, we have a chance of making a quick goal happen. Do you focus on that kind of thing, or do you really think that's not really the thing teams should really be focusing on?
I mean, yes and no. I do believe there's a lot to gain by having agreements and rule of thumbs in during kickoffs, but in Rocket League in general. But the issue is that only one car has to be positioned ever so slightly different for a situation which very much looks alike to be completely different. And I think that's what's really tough in Rocket League, because situations are alike, but they are different in a sense too. And to make rules and schedules for every single situation that can arise, I don't think is the right way to go. But having rule of thumb, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Patrick.
Good. And as we see here as well, that the attack for Supermode is still not done. And on the other side, Vibin is kind of being pushed back most of the time. Not really getting shots on the board yet, but they are looking to put in a lot more pressure. And Supermode already starting with very good attacks, but also looking for a lot of demos. Just shows that they come to play and come to play for real here.
And some mechanical shields being shown as well. Some attempted flip resets not working out yet. Backward read there from TriToN, very good as well. Needed to be quick and was exactly that. That's a tough miss by Spectre though. Wasn't quite finished off by Torres. He had a good opportunity, couldn't find the back of the net. And so we see a bit of pressure coming out from Supermode. The chance is really not finding the back of the net yet.
Yeah, and I feel that Vibin is just falling back a little bit too much. They're not following up on each other's moves and just leaving every player on an island like this. I love spacing, but when you move people too far apart, you just can't react to each other's dances. But here we saw a very good one from Spectre, and that's the first real bit of control we see out of Vibin.
For sure, Vibin having a good counter-attack, but not managing to get a good shot on target. It was barely wide. If we can keep that going, the sort of passes plays on the counters can be so disruptive. It's a good shot though by Torres, once again putting the pressure onto the blue side of the field. Supermode wanting to keep that ball upfield, create the chances for themselves and not have Vibin be too dangerous. They handle it very nicely now. TriToN puts it up high, follows it to a demo. We'll take care of that. Another attacker from Blue coming in. As a result, you still see a fairly even game here to Gavastrum.
Yeah, the game is pretty easy. It's also based upon both these teams, and especially the individual players knowing where they need to go. Like, individual flashiness can help your team get a bit of extra space, but it's mostly that teamwork that really comes in. And I think either team is still fishing for an actual teamwork moment. We see Jill here getting forced out with a 50. TriToN, of course, working with his team, and here we see Spectre finally following up very well. So the pressure can now be on for Vibin as well.
It does feel though that the pace of the game is quite slow. A lot of players getting all the time and space to do what they need to do. That's a good shot by Spectre, saved by Torres, but the follow-up is there. Let's be grabbing the equalizer here as we see Vibin grab a goal for themselves.
Yeah, Torres with just too much greed in the positioning, moving so far up that there was no chance that he was going to be back in time for a good clearing save. The save was there, teammates were not, so the ball was still in front of net, and that's an easy finish for Vibin. It's now on Super Mode to find an answer once again. This Vibe is actually vibing. They are coming true to their name, but they're now vibing in front of their own net, trying to get that ball away, and it's getting a little bit scary.
TriToN not in the best position there. I do agree with you. Vibin seems to be vibing, but Super Mode has been the team with all the pressure for me. And if I were to call one grabbing another goal, it would be them. However, the backboard defense has been on point for Vibin. It has to be said. Every single time that ball does find the backboard, it is defended very well, and they seem to be going for quite a few demos as well here now.
Yeah, especially Spectre is just putting on all the pressure, looking at bumps, demos, and everything else, just working his butt off for the rest of the team. I like to think, like, especially working with Rocket Benelux, just using old Dutch players as real examples of hard-working players. And I think Spectre, if we want to take a player for that, it's going to be Kout, would be my player to beat, because he's such a workhorse there. And that was exciting. Wasn't there yet. It wasn't going to win. I knew it wasn't. But now we have the kickoff that's going to decide if it is going to go.
That's a very big compliment though. That's one of my favorite players of all time. I love watching him play, and I love watching him at Feyenoord even more than anything. But Torres now trying to take matters into his own hand, throwing a cheeky dribble, but didn't really go in. He found the crossbar was all that he could get there, but both teams very much on the individual plays. You mentioned it before as well. They haven't really found their way yet as a team, but the individual plays are on point.
Yeah, and it feels to me that Super Mode does know their way around those rules you set up beforehand, the idea of where our players can go. But here's the good chance for TriToN, gets the perfect pass, and Spectre just delivers that, really working that workhorse mentality here, not getting the goal himself.
That was a very optimistic challenge by Mingo, though, it has to be said. He was going for the boost, which is fine. Then I thought he went for the fake challenge, but he just full on threw everything that he had at that challenge, and it didn't work out in his favor. By Vibin taking this first one, where I said it during the game as well. I thought it was Super Modes. I thought they had all the pressure, they had the chances, but if you fail to actually finish the chances, then this happens, and Vibin just go away with it.
Yeah, Super Mode, like you said, it felt like the better team. It felt like a team that should have taken anything here and walked away with it too. But I think overconfidence came with that. If you saw that last challenge, that was a player that looked at the ground, saw a kitchen sink, and was like, "Okay, shit, here we go. Let's see what happens." And sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want to.
And to be honest, it wasn't all on Mingo, because not even 2 seconds before that, there were 2 orange cards trying also desperately to hit a ball in the air, and they failed to do so as well. So Mingo put into a very tough position there as well by his teammates, and I think might be a bit of nerves here coming out from Super Mode. I don't think they are very often considered favorites to, or potentially, I would say dark horses to potentially take the entire tournament, where to me they are currently in this tournament, and I think that may be playing to their mentality a bit. I mean, I think it's tough to really change the type of plays that you are in these type of tournaments.
True. Super Mode has always like played well, and with this new roster, they seem reasonably solid, but as you said, they are usually, I would say, very much underdogs, and having no pressure on you makes it easier. But Mingo keeps it so calm and collected, works it past the defender there, and gets the first goal on the board for promoting game 2.
Do you know what we call that, Fashion? We call that redeemed. He redeemed himself for that previous game, because that was a beautiful fake and a low 50 behind him. I thought it was going to bounce out, but a bit of luck on his side doesn't hurt anyone. Mingo ground out 1-0 here once again. Super Mode leading, but it happened last game too, and then Vibin was able to come all the way back.
Yeah, and it was again individual plays that we saw get the goal, and I don't mind that if we're looking at someone like an Astro or an Alpha, like those gods of the game that really know how to work their own individual skill with that, because they still know how to find the team. And Super Mode and Vibin need to start doing that a bit more. Need looking at a bit more basic. You don't have to be super fancy in Rocket League to get good goals just by using your teammates. But I can be wrong.
Nope. Let's just completely disregard anything that me and Sebastian say. The great fake for Spectre, that second touch was great too, but yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I'd love to see some team plays. Those are my favorite inside of Rocket League, but here, this matchup, they're not really happening. Everyone, I think it is due to everyone being very defensively if they're not the person on the ball. We always see them sitting very far back, and there isn't necessarily tight spaces in which quick passes can be done there as well. TriToN can just stay upfield, but rather would just rotate all the way out, and because of that, a lot of chances being squandered, and neither team really playing very offensively.
Nope, and with the 1-1 once again, is this going to be like the same script, copy and paste it from day one? It seems like it isn't going to be. Mingo says, nah. This is not the New Hope. This is the Empire Strikes Back. We are the Empire. We're striking back now. Maybe Vibin can take game 3 then, but for now, it's looking good for SummerDash.
All right, question: who do you want to win this tournament?
Who do I want to win this entire tournament?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick peek then to what's still left. Who do I want to?
What I think you should do is tell that they're going to lose the tournament, because so far, every single time you've opened your mouth, the exact opposite has happened.
This is very fair. Okay, then I think you choose to be the worst team here and should lose everything.
All right, you choose. You've heard it.
Yeah, it's on you now to make the caster curse happen, because I apparently have that skill. I have the dark side of this force here.
Unfortunately for Vibin, because he did say that they might be the ones to score next. Instead, it is Super Mode kind of taking control of the game. They had a lot of chances in the previous game, weren't able to score them then, but right now we do see a third coming in from them, as we see Spectre just kind of floating past the ball from the backboard. Yeah,
missing those kind of like quote-unquote easy clears, because at this pace nothing is really easy unless you yourself are like a high-level Rocket League player. To most, this is quite high-level Rocket League, and it is hard to get through to do all these things always well, because that's it. The highest level players can do the fancy things, but they can do them consistently compared to most other players. And that is a beautiful passing play. We're starting to see it. That was almost Renault Vitality-esque with tight, quick passes in the box here.
I like that, TriToN. So many people choose to go for the shot there because there is a decent opportunity, but instead you just whip it towards the person that is in mid, who has a much better angle on the shot and just has more time to really react to what the goalkeepers are going to do, and then manage to get them past there. Torres got very close, but very close is not close enough in this instance. So we do see Vibin taking one back, another one there as well. Great demo coming out from Crispy, and Spectre will want to finish it off.
That is a very good attack here. It is, I would say, risky, because if this didn't work, let's say the bump or demo didn't happen, then you would have had a good save flying towards your net, and it would have gone in the other way. So I'm not sure if I'd like the desperation play already. There's still enough time to play a bit more safe, but if you can make sure that you can do this kind of attack consistently, then yeah, I guess it could work.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, because I love those type of plays. Yes, they are risky, but I think it oozes confidence and just faith in your teammates to both get the demo and then the goal to be open. And yes, sometimes you get caught with your panics around your angles, but sometimes it really works out as well. And when teams have that confidence, I think it works out 9 times out of 10.
Fair, fair. If it works out 9 times out of 10, I will not knock it. But if it doesn't, then I would start questioning decision making there.
True.
With that, we have a counter goal now for Super Mode. They have gone back into the lead. They are looking strong to take game 2 after a defeating game 1, but still a minute left, and we see the confidence coming out of Vibin. And if they can keep that up and play with that power and confidence, they can probably like make this a 4-4 within the minute.
I agree, confidence so important, and that is confidence right there. TriToN, it sneaks in still, but what a pass, 2 by Spectre. All 3 people being involved in that play. What a gorgeous goal there for Vibin.
He had to dive in there to make sure it went in as well. That's some extra commitment to it. And I'm wondering, like, on the one hand, I'm wondering, where were these teams, like, last game? Because this looks so much better. On the other side, where's the defense, guys? We have 4 goals on either side. You guys are doing something a bit wrong here if this many goals are happening, and I think that is mostly midfield defense, because those demo attacks, if they work, you cannot stop them, but making sure they don't get a chance to use them, that's kind of where your defense really lies, and the midfield is not being controlled by either team right now.
Well, you're blaming midfield defense, but how can it be the fault when it's non-existent?
Because it's not there. that's the entire point. Like, why did you fall in the water? Yes, there was no bridge. Yes, that's not my fault. There was no bridge. Like,
yeah.
No. How is that a good argument? No.
You just
straw man, go away. Go back
No.
to the field, straw man. This is not working.
It doesn't work there, and maybe one thing that does work is almost that last opportunity there for Super Bowl, but these 2 teams super close so far. Bastion is the second overtime of this series that we're being treated to. This time for the first chance there once again for Super Mode. Who else? They once again 2 failed to finish it off, but a good demo there by Spectre. A shot 2. That one isn't great enough. Kill manages to take it off the back line. A bit of time here being taken on the side of Super Mode. Rotations not too perfect, but good enough. And goal not being found yet. That one there is a good chance though. TriToN gets the shot off. Torres with some good defense. Both teams hold on in this first 30 seconds.
Yeah, the first 30 seconds was really scary for Super Mode because they were looking at the barrel of the gun. It was loaded, it was ready at their face, and they were able to escape, to dodge the incoming bullet there, but still, it looks good for Vibin. If they can tie up game 2, they're already looking very strong to moving on to the next round, because 2-0 ahead, I mean, reverse sweeps happen a lot. We've seen them happen before, and Super Mode can definitely do it, but they need to have the confidence, and their opponent is confident right now. Good pass there, bit too far behind Mingo. Not really successful. Ball is played away again. Now Super Mode was a bit more on the offensive side, and the question becomes, does Vibin get out of this?
Oh, that remains to be seen. They did get out of that particular attack coming out from Super Mode, and like you said, a chance of a reverse sweep if Vibin managed to take this one, because both teams are so close to each other in terms of scale in this overtime, proving exactly that. But it is Vibin getting away with it. Spectre just beating out the last defender, and in similar fashion to the last one, the third just makes a hasty commit to a ball. It's Vibin taking the win.
Yeah, Spectre feels like it's a player that has very weird positioning, very good spacing-wise positioning, but you just don't always expect him there. But he plays aggressive and very confident, and with that, just again, right place, right time with the perfect touch. He didn't even have to do a powerful touch or anything fancy, just like he did. It's just super controlled touches that he works the ball into the net there. And Spectre is looking good. The rest of his team is working well with him, but Spectre's been that consistent goal scorer right now. And Mingo on the other side for Super Mode has been the same thing, but it's just not been enough for them yet. And my question is still, who's going to build the first bridge, who's going to do the first bit of midfield defense, and make sure that they don't get scored on this much.
Yeah, who's not going to fall into the water and blame the lack of bridges? Remains to be seen. A reverse sweep now needed for Super Mode, and it won't be the only sweep going on in these quarterfinals, as Unique Stars, I think, had a... Oh, it has been reverted now, I think, on the bracket. I did see a 3-0 from them earlier, but now suddenly on my screen, oh yeah, it was a 3-0. Suddenly it disappeared. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But Unique Stars are first semi-finalist here of the tournaments, taking out Tyrants in a 3-0 fashion. And we could see a similar result here if Vibin take the next game, and Supermo will be looking for that reverse sweep.
Yeah, Supermo has their work cut out for them. I think the Galaxy skin that we see here on Mingo is going to have to give him the power to get through this, because they need something. They need something extra, because what they're doing now is still, it's a bit too predictable. They don't create a lot of chances, but TriToN here with more passing plays with the rest of his team. And I think that is going to be so dangerous here if Supermode cannot start stopping and getting in between these passes.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the other thing is that Supermode is a team that plays on speed and outpacing your opponents is what I've seen so far from them. And right now, that only works if you have that confidence and that you're going to hit every single challenge. And right now, that just doesn't seem to be there. Their challenges are somewhat lackluster or just very slow in general. I'd like to see them have a bit more speed behind their plays and just come out of a good position, really commit for these challenges, and then hopefully just completely out-pressure their opponents.
It almost seems like every time the ball is on the side of Vibin and one of the players is coming towards it, there's just nobody on the Supermode team that wants to challenge that wants to keep pressure on these players. They want that ball to come back to them, and then from there they want to start looking for the attack. With the passing plays we're seeing from Vibin, they are looking stronger because of it. You need to start challenging your man. Just have some full court pressure here and make sure that from there you can create a couple more chances for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. But Vibin, I think, is handling it very smartly too. They make sure that whenever that ball hits their backboard, they are the first ones to get a really awkward touch to the side, so that that man that comes into challenge is just going to be too late. So I think that they're handling their opponent's play styles fairly well, but I do think it is somewhat a wall that is just being torn down right now with Supermode, where they keep banging, they keep hacking away, and it just seems like a matter of time before it breaks. That's exactly what happens here. Torres finding that goal.
And the wall crumbles. We see Crispy here going for that all-important clearing touch, and if you don't hit those, that usually means a goal, especially at this level, because all the players are hunting for those kind of touches. You miss one in front of your net, there's always someone there. I've heard people in Grand Champ really getting angry of the monkey kind of playstyle that we see there, but it's not monkey. It's so tactical. You're not giving up a lot of positioning by waiting there for half a second, seeing if he misses, because you know you're going to be quick enough to come back, and it is the kind of playstyle you want to do. But that's a beautiful pass, and TriToN not able to touch that one to finish it off, but still at least working through just bumps and demos as well. Just working hard is this team of Vibin.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it is a very interesting discussion about the monkey playstyle you'd call it. I think others, the main name that's being given to it is Spanish Bim Bam. You just try and outpace your opponents. You see it getting wins everywhere. A team like BDS, the main employer of that playstyle, Giants, another one that comes to mind, and they're getting decent results in Europe. So you have to think, are you just gonna really complain about it or adapt to the playstyle, try and implement it yourself, or try and find a way to actually beat out on this playstyle? I think, to me personally, I think the main way that you beat this playstyle is making sure that you get short touches to teammates, that you take people out of the play. And one thing that you shouldn't do is give mid passes to your opponents.
Yeah, I think that's but I think that was Rocket League 101. I think this is all the way, can go all the way back to Bronze League, that you do not want to give midfield passes to your opponent. Although in Bronze, they might miss it, but here, they definitely won't.
Now, good finish there in Super Mode. Did take the 2-goal lead, but it's been reduced to 1 by, once again, Spectre getting another goal for himself. It's a good shot, but you got to think that could have been saved by Mingo, and I think it should have been saved as well, Sebastian.
it should have been saved by someone, but the shot shouldn't have been free to begin with. There should have been someone up challenging that shot, at least trying to get a hand in the defender's face to make sure that the shot isn't as easy as 1, 2, 3. Because there were 3 people on the goal line there. Someone could have cut in, someone could have communicated and made sure that that goal, that shot wasn't free. Because the shot was free, the goal becomes very likely.
I agree. Another thing I'd like to see out of this Supermote squad is their usage of the width of the pitch, because right now they're often kind of pressuring into their teammates' sides where one person is already on the right side and then the left person eyes upfield decides to go for the ball rather than just leaving his teammate for the challenge. And I think that's the main reason why they're being beaten out of a lot of touches. And also just sometimes leave it, let your teammate handle it, and that right now doesn't feel like the case. They only think about ball and themselves, that they want to be the one to touch it.
Yeah, and communication is so, especially if you play that high octane playstyle where you just want to put up pressure, and just have all 3 players like intellectually ball chase. Like it is ball chasing, but it's ball chasing on a very, very special good level. If you do it well, you become one of the best players in the world. I always cite like Turbo Pulsar being the super sub and being the person that invented ball chasing on an intellectual level. And that is why he got that many like accolades that he has gotten, because in every team he's always been the one to go for weird challenges but always keep the pressure on his teammates. And we need to see that more here from Supermote. They need to put up the pressure, but they need to make sure that they communicate who's going to go for what.
I've got no clue how you managed to put Turbo in any category. I've watched a lot of Rocket League. But I've never understood what Turbo is doing, and I almost didn't understand what was the Supermote defense was doing there as well, being 1 goal up. But they managed to selfish it, they managed to defend it, and the reverse sweep is still on.
Yep, the first step is there. Supermote said, okay, reverse sweep, we can do that. We can show you this. This is going to be good. This is not going to be a 3-0. We're not going to be tyrants against unique stars. We are better than this. Although, again, it doesn't feel like they are in control. It felt more like the dice rolled well for them this game than it felt like they are in control and are looking for a very solid reverse sweep.
I am very torn on that, because I do agree with you. I don't think they necessarily look that much better, but I do think they consistently have had more shots and have had more pressure throughout all the games played so far. They just haven't had the best of shots. And I think if their shooting is a bit more dangerous, they get Vibin into awkward positions and they manage to grab the goals. But so far, that hasn't really been the case. So I don't think that this one is a coin flip in the sense that they weren't necessarily much worse than Vibin. But I do agree it needs to be better if they want to pull off this reverse sweep.
Yeah. I mean, like the reason why I used more of a dice roll is because there's equal amounts of chance on both sides, but it's not as skewed as a coin flip. It's not 50-50 because the team that gets to roll more dice or better dice is going to have the better chance here. And it feels to me that with the amount of passing plays we've seen come out of 5-5-5 and the kind of bumps and what they're using, as you saw here again, gives them like higher level dice. Their dice are better than the dice that Supermote are rolling with. It's not 50-50, it just looks better for them, but it can still fall Supermote's way.
Can I just very quickly give some props to Crispy, because that bump on Mingo completely left the goal wide open, and it's not the first time that 5-5 has used a physical play to their advantage. They seem very eager on leaving 3 people on the play, and that once again a great bump by Crispy. This time on kill, that one did not find a goal, but was very, very close to.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock them anymore because they seem to know what they're doing if they throw all 3 players and the kitchen sink at the opponent, because they get their bumps, they get their demos, and they make sure that they have the best chances they can. And they also do it with beautiful passing plays. And I would assume if Supermote would look for one infield passing play, like one extra touch before the shot, their shot percent, like their amount of shots would go down, their shot percent would go up. But what the? Spectre! You monster!
He's been popping all series, but that is the cherry on top. How did he get so much speed on that? That's insane coming out of Spectre. A gorgeous shot. And that gives us a 2-0 lead as well to Vibin, and it may very well be the goal that they need to secure the entire series.
I mean, that is the kind of goal where afterwards you look at your opponent and you go, yeah, this is over. This is our game. You are not going to be able to beat us when we are doing things like this. And Spectre just giving the stink eye to Supermode here.
I mean, to be honest, even if they do end up losing this one, that is still a goal that makes you re-watch the series, even if you get reverse swept.
Yup, that is a nasty goal. I mean, there was a defender in net. He was just standing still and kind of doing nothing, being in an awkward position. One of those things I repeat a lot against like lower level players is, hey, if you want to defend the net, if you have some boost, go to the back post, because from there you have a lot better of a chance to defending the entire net than standing in the middle of that entire goal.
I mean, obviously, but I do think that you have a massive element of surprise here because no one expects a shot with that amount of speed behind it as well. And I think that's what the issue was there, where they just weren't even expecting someone to be touching the ball, just ready to get the next one, and then you get a Spectre that just flies past and absolutely cherry picks it into the top corner as well. That was just gorgeous going out from him.
I love the fact that like he came out of nowhere like a Spectre out of the boards going boogie 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 with a goal, and it surprises the opponent, and that's kind of how that goal felt like. Yes.
Yo, I'd be very scared if I was just sitting in my room and suddenly a Spectre goes boogie boogie boogie. Oh yeah. No!
You'd be like, okay, what are you? Why are you here? And why do you do this?
Give Esther and get out of my room is what I would do. And
sorry, I'll leave. Fine.
Did you see that though? That was such a good chance for Super Mode. That was literally open, and they just whiffed it. I think they heard or saw the Spectre coming in.
Yeah, they just once again heard the boogie 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 just whispering in their ear, and they were like, "Oh no, it's happening again! Quickly, run! Leave the ball! Leave your children! This is everyone for themselves. Bye."
It didn't work out in their favor. Now, with a minute and a half to go, it's going to be very, very tough for them to come back. That passing play almost a good start of it, but once again a great chance squandered there. Torres, you would think that could be a shot on target or even a goal for that matter, but it just goes wide, and that opportunity is now gone. And then we're down to a minute to go in this game 4, where it's all or nothing for Supermode, when right now it kind of looks like it's lurking more towards the nothing than it is to the something.
Yeah, I feel there might have been a screw knot loose with Supermode after that goal from Spectre. It just feels like the wind is out of their sails. They're not really running on all cylinders anymore, and they're still trying. They're still looking for chances, but even that shot, not on target, not fast enough. It's just they're getting desperate, and a bit too desperate.
And
that was a good passing play.
Yeah, I think Spectre just read that well, but I think the Supermode guys was expecting them to hit the ball as well, but it just came flying past and then kind of just taken off guard there and kill. I would imagine I'd like it more if you hit that ball forwards rather than towards your own net. It works out still, but with 10 seconds to go, it seems like the fate is sealed here. Good demo though by Mingo. We're down to 4. 3, 2, 1, and the ball drops on the ground, and we have yet another upset here in this RocketDash tournament.
Another upset, but the big thing I want to shout out to all these players is that all of them said GG's at the end of the series, and that is something that I find a little bit rare to see, even in high-level Rocket League, that teams just give each other the like good and okay positive things. I mean, I can expect casters being assholes, but players usually are sometimes a bit angry, and of course they usually say GG's afterwards. But seeing it here in game, I think that deserves a shout out because I love that kind of mentality in teams and in players.
Yeah, it'd be really weird if casters just went on to shit talk the players during breaks, but of course that doesn't ever happen, especially not when the stream suddenly gets unmuted on the A-League channel. But we won't be talking about that. What we will be talking about instead is the rest of the bracket and stuff that is coming up here, because this does mean that we have yet another semi-finalist. We already had Unique Stars, and joining them is You Choose. your caster curse still in full effect there as they beat out, I'm just going to say it again, Vis du overzette dette er du grim. Do you know what it means, actually, Grastrian?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
You?
so I had to put it through Google Translate, but that was their entire plan because it means if you translate this, you're ugly.
Oh wow, that is sneaky. I mean, they got knocked out by you choose, and I think deservedly in that way. That's
Yeah.
sneaky. I love it though.
I like it too. And the others, that's one semi-final. The other semi-final that we have coming up as well is 2 gods and 1 simp taking on the Vibin roster that we just saw. 2 gods, 1 simp is Tosses, Regzer, and Kala, which means that in our bottom side of the bracket, we actually have seed 18 taking on seed 19 in the semi-final. So props to both teams, getting much farther than we were expecting. But that will all be happening after the break. We will be streaming both semifinals. I'm not quite sure which one we'll be starting with, but that will be on this channel, so you don't want to go anywhere. After this quick break, we'll be back with the semifinals.
Been wearing life like it's a noose around my neck, hunting vultures as they fly. Every spring a flower blossoms in my head, and every winter time it dies. I've become the hunted. I've become the hunted. I've become the hunted.
And hello and welcome back, everybody, to the RocketDash, Rocket Summer or Summer Dash. I keep
Rocket
forgetting
Dash,
the name.
Shimmer Dash. We're
Rocket
double
Dash,
dashing.
Summer Dash, the Double Dash Tournament. Welcome to the Double Dash Tournament, and we are here for the summer version of the Rocket. And I'm still Gavastri. I'm still joined here by the one, the only, the amazing coach Juicy, and of course, amazing insights during games and caster and everything, and friends and blah 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 blah. Welcome, lovely to have you here.
You
And
overhype me way too much.
no, I never overhype you. I don't overhype you enough. That's what's happening.
Oh, that is very sweet. That is very sweet. I hope that if we hype up the players for the upcoming match, they'll be as good as we think they can be. Shall
Well,
we do that?
they should be amazing. Let's see. On the one hand, we have the unique stars with Q, who's new addition to the roster. I think Scream and Zeto, just amazing team, RLCS level team, and you choose with BJayB, Eaze, and Blackstrike.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that that's just the B in the lobby, but we'll manage ourselves in the first shot here from unique stars as well. Like you mentioned, Q new instead of Revsy, who played for them in that's a cheeky save. Who played for them in the RLCS X full qualifiers and the first regional as well. They got to stage 1. Unfortunately, fell down there, but still, I think a massive result for a team of this caliber.
Yeah, I think they are working towards a lot of good things for themselves, and if they I'm wondering why they keep switching their third player. I mean, Scream and Zeto have been playing together for a while, and I'm wondering if they can keep that up enough and find that solid third. Because having two players played in with each other and then switching your third half the time, that just always seems to hurt synergy even a little bit.
I agree, but then it is also a matter of where do you think you can go? Because the talk always is with the rosters move, like why would you change something that is working out? But if your aim is the absolute top, I can see why if it isn't going absolutely amazingly, you do keep making changes until you find that perfect third.
Yeah, true, and wanting to find for that. I myself am always a proprietor of get a group together that works well together, communicates well together, and then find the magical playstyle and everything through hard work and training, and not just because you randomly put the right elements together and get the right synergy for that moment.
I agree, but it's a very tough one because yes, you can get very far with hard work, and I'm not saying that every roster should split up the moment that they don't feel like it is going like they wanted to, but you also got to realize at some point that there is also benefit in starting fresh and starting over. So I do get the whole roster mania always happening. I still think I agree with you that it happens too much, but it is a thing to think about a lot, and so far it hasn't worked out in the favor of unique stars, and that one just going wide as well. Scream also not managing to find the goal because they are trailing here by 1 goal. Blackstrike finding that first goal, and you choose leading in this first semi-final.
Yeah, and that it kind of feels like it is good for you twos that they've been together as a roster for a while now. They have, of course, faced off against each other, especially BJayB and Blackstrike have faced off against each other hundreds of times, if not more, in the bubble scene over the years, but they've now found each other on the same team and are playing extremely well together. And it always feels like they know what they're doing, and Eaze is always slotted in as a solid third player. And it's really wondering because BJayB has more of a ones play style, a bit more dribbling, and Blackstrike is a little bit fancier, a little bit more aerial focused. It can be that special sauce magical attack person that you need. And Eaze is that third slot-in person where he goes, well, I'm just gonna solve the problems that the team creates by being idiots, and I'll just fix that.
I also like the mechanics on Eaze. I feel like he's such a quick player when he needs to be, even going for freestyles every once again. Like if there's any player on this pitch right here that's gonna pull off a flipper set, it will be Eaze. But he can also just bump a lot of people out of the way as BJayB gets the pass, and Blackstrike finding his second of the match.
Oh yeah, I do not. I really do not want to knock Eaze for what he's doing because he is an insanely good player. So he wouldn't be on this roster if he wasn't. And with the idea for me is always that the player that has to fix the mistakes of the other players is usually should be the most mechanically gifted player on the team, because that way you have the most chances of making the most of every situation.
I like that. I like that idea. I think it's always tough because you also want your mechanical player to maybe be very far upfield so that he can do stuff like this flip reset and have the time and space to actually go for it without the pressure of being the last one back because you're the one that's fixing your teammates' mistakes. But I rate that approach as well, where you just say, yeah, but if you have mechanics, you can fix anything. You can also fix bad positions. So you want that person to be the one that fixes everything.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't like the idea of having that person be the sole defending player, but the biggest example of this kind of playstyle was when Arju made RLCS and was still playing for WLLF in the Superstar League. And there, the first few games, he always played aggro. He always played like a man on a mission going to score all the fancy goals. But his team only started winning when he was the defensive rock, like holding down midfield and creating attacks and chances through that. So sometimes I feel like it really depends on your setup. If you have 3 good players, then you can do all of them can do everything. Wow, Scream, you can do anything. Like, let's just be honest there. That's a thing. Whew.
Yeah, it's like that first shot by Q was alright. That pass I thought from Zeta wasn't quite perfect enough, but Scream made it work. That was an absolute banger, an absolute screamer, you could say. In the top half of the goal, going crossbarring down with only 20 seconds to go. There should be plenty for you choose to get this first win. Actually, with a bit of an upset right here in this game 1.
Yeah, the time isn't over yet, and with the time counting down, they drop it down very well. I mean, that's always been a discussion, and I think a very interesting one. What to you means Rule 1?
You know, for me personally, Rule 1 will always be being locked in being locked cars. But I know people hate me for that, but it's just the thing that's close to my heart. If I say Rule 1, I mean that. If I see it, I think Rule 1. And then keeping the ball up is just the rule for me. It's like a Rule 0 for me because it is something that you always do.
Fair. I mean, that's a very good way to look at it. Like, historically, from like supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars, Rule 1 was keeping the ball up. Like, the Rule 1 that we have now, that is more widespread and used, Rule 1 is the locking cars. And
All
I
right,
think,
counterpoint.
yes.
Historically, women weren't allowed to vote.
Okay, yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
So, no. But that, okay, you're now comparing morality to just what came, like, this is a discussion, what came first, egg or chicken, and you're turning it into, let's make this a moral debate about if women have the right to vote. I think we've all concluded that everybody should be able to make their own shitty choices. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, what kind of racial incentive you have. All of you can vote and decide for yourself what you want to do, and that shouldn't be for discussion. But sadly, people do not agree because, well, those people are just wrong. But that's okay.
All I just heard was that you agreed with me. That is Rule 1.
I hate this kind of debate. No, I cannot.
Okay, let's stop it. It's over. Zedo just silences as well.
Yeah, Zedo says, I don't care what your Rule 1 is. This is my Rule 1. Zedo scores. And he talks in the third person. Because when you make these kind of shots, you can talk in the third person. Zedo can and Zedo will do that.
Oh, I love that. That's such a nice double tap. It doesn't happen as often anymore in Rocket League, unfortunately, because of how good backboard defense for most of the teams have gotten. Then when teams do get a bit of space and they manage to finish it off like that, it looks gorgeous, and what a shot it was. They've had a couple of great goals already here on the stream as well, Sebastian.
Yeah, we've had some insane goals. I mean, we can still, like, I still freshly remember the Ooga Booga Booga goal from Spectre. Let's be honest, that still is my #1 favorite goal here, but this shot from Zedo was really, really nutty.
It very much was. Great angle that he found on that shot. And this time, we do see Unique starts taking the lead. They managed to lose out in that game 1. You choose a very clutch, managing to get that first win there. And what a bump as well. And an opportunity for Blackstrike. Gets that pop. He was the one from both goals on the side of You choose in this game 1. In game 2, everyone's looking at him to make the difference yet again.
Yeah, for me on the other side with Scream and Zedo specifically, if I look at their playstyles now, what makes them such good teammates is the fact that they do extra. I'm like, every player can play 100% on the field by just doing their rotation right and getting their touches, but outplaying an extra opponent, getting a flip reset, getting an extra touch off the sideboard, a pass to yourself and stuff like that, that's always that extra bit of magical sauce that some players can bring in that show that some players are just better than others. It's the difference between everyone can make a free throw and you have Kobe making a free throw. There's just a difference there between the kind of players you have there, and here we see it. Blackstrike has always been that extra magical factor for me for You choose, and he's always done that so well.
I love the fact that Scream immediately quick chatted my noise. I did a bit of a woo, and Scream saying the exact same thing in quick chat as well, because that was a great touch by Blackstrike coming out of nowhere to touch that one past the last defender. Very well done, and once again, You choose basically out of nowhere, still finding that goal and finding their way back into the series.
Yeah, they are not to be underestimated at any. You will underestimate You choose at your own peril. That is your choice, and we respect it, but it's going to be wrong. It's going to be wrong because You choose is just that strong of a team.
I knew that pun with it's your choice was coming as well. I wanted to just interrupt you before making it, but alas, I was a bit too late. And you get to make your pun, and we also see Unique sides getting to make their attacks as they do push, and You choose very far back into their own half, and that might be an opportunity. Good save there from Eaze. A bit of an awkward rotation though by BJayB. He's getting punished for it. He has 0 boost still. So more chances coming on the side of Unique Star. Zedo now taking a shot. BJayB still without boost. He can't do anything. That ball not sneaking in as it just bounces off the post. And Blackstrike the first one to follow it up.
That is once again one of those weird moments where you question, was that Blackstrike or was that just post? I'm not completely sure, but we see that the luck and skill is on the side of the post mostly. Both posts have now decided that there's not going to be scored yet. We're going to go into overtime. That's what the posts want. We might want to listen to the post guys. We don't want to make them angry.
A nice chaos mode here going on. 4v4 post joining both sides right here, and Scream not finding the pass to Zedo. Could have been a good opportunity, but the passes on both sides so far have been somewhat lackluster. They haven't really found their mark yet. And those passes arguably even harder than shooting. And that one is still very nice by BJayB talking about shooting.
Okay, these last like 15 seconds, it was all the You choose show. Every single touch they made, they had someone following it up and hitting it towards the next person and the next. And it wasn't planned. It wasn't practiced passing. It was actual very free flow kind of work. And now they make a huge mistake. It would be sad if it falls flat on that one and we still go to overtime. But that was an insane bit of teamwork and synergy we saw there just now.
Yeah, just great rotations, great pressure. And it grounds them the win possibly in this game 2 again, as Eaze also gets the demo just for good message. Blackstrike puts it over everyone. Once again, we see a You choose win here, where I was expecting a fight, but I wasn't expecting You choose to be 2-0 up after 2 games.
We were expecting a bit of fisticuff and just a bit of a kerfuffle there, but eventually Unique Star showing their pedigree and saying, we are the players here that are going to win. But it now feels like, no. This is like the Viper versus the Mountain kind of thing, where the Mountain just underestimated the speed of the Viper, and the Viper is now winning. The Viper is now looking good. But are we going to get actual Game of Thrones and Unique Star coming back with a huge upset now with a reverse sweep, or is it still going to be Choose finishing this one off?
I was a bit confused there. I've watched some Game of Thrones, but I haven't watched all of it. And when you were talking about the Mountain and Viper, I thought you were talking about a literal mountain. I was like, what is a Viper going to do against a mountain?
It was basically a fight between the big guy, the Mountain, that's just this big enforcer dude that Cersei has, and somebody from further east who has a very fluid, fast, aggressive style, where one just goes for pure brawn and the other is more just speed. And speed can win those scenarios unless brawn gets a hold of speed, and then speed's gone. Like you need to keep your distance, or else you're screwed with one hit, basically.
Wait, so did speed win in the fight?
I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it yet.
No, you can't just tell me this and then not make it fit. I hate that. Just give me the spoilers. I don't care.
Okay, spoiler warning for... Oh. Should we go into spoilers?
No, wait, let's just quickly mention that this was probably more painful than a fight was for either of those fighters, because that Blackstrike just pushing up too far and bumping BJayB out of the way for the save. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate moment. But, so, spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen it yet for Game of Thrones. The fight happens like this. Viper seems to be winning because he just cuts down the Mountain. And then he starts taunting, gets a bit cocky, and then makes a mistake. Lets him get grabbed by the Mountain, and the Mountain just crushes his head in one single swoop with his two hands, like, and done. The Mountain still almost dies and becomes a zombie for the rest of the series for some reason. But Viper should have won if he didn't play like an idiot.
Man, Game of Thrones sounds complicated.
It is very complicated. It's fun, but it's complicated.
Do you know what else is fun? This series so far, Vashian, because it has been a good one, even though we see Choose leading 2-0 in this series, it has not been a one-sided affair. Both matches 2-1 being decided by Blackstrike goals. But Unique Stars finding their first lead in this particular match. They do have to pull off the reverse sweep though, so quite a task ahead of them. You could say there's a mountain ahead of them to climb, and they do so formidably. They have their gear with them because that is the 2-0.
I do wonder with that if it is a bit like the first goal was a bit of a mistake, was a bit of a moment where they just ran into each other, and that felt very, very unfortunate. But it now feels like that might have thrown them off kilter just a little bit. And I think Choose has always been a bit of a momentum-based team, so they do not want to start falling behind now and give up the good chance that they have of finishing this.
Yeah, I think so too, and it just feels like the engine has just come online for Unique Stars. It was rumbling earlier on in the match, but it hasn't really been fired up. But right now, certainly has, with 3 shots and 3 goals. Each member on a 1-1-0-1 almost. Absolutely beautifully. Unique Stars just going to running away with this one.
Yeah, and I feel like this one might be running out of hand for Choose, and they can start fighting back, but now I would say throw in some weird stuff to throw at your opponents for the next game. This one, with 3 minutes left, yes, you have the chance of scoring 3 goals. You're probably going to be able to do that if you work for it, but you're going to maybe run out of speed and out of tank if you try to get this one back. While you could just give this one up as a loss, like lose this fight to win the eventual war, and that might be the choice that like the team should go for it.
Yeah, you need to go back to the basics in these type of matches where you're down 3-0. You say in voice chat. So at this point, if you are, in fact, you choose what you say is, well, guys, we can still do this. There's plenty of time. We've got 2 minutes 30. Focus on X and Y. And I think X and Y in this particular instance for Choose should be the passing plays that they are now finding back, because when they were linking up, they were constantly taking Unique Stars out of the play and out of their positions. But right now, it just feels like they're trying to overdo themselves. They're focusing too much on wanting to create something rather than, you know, just playing their own game and just seeing when those goals come. Well, here's one though.
Here is one, and it's always been, I might be hyping him up a little bit too much, but Blackstrike has always been the player for me that when you choose it, he is the one that's going to step up and show that extra bit of flair that is needed. BJayB is an insane player. I don't want to knock off anything for Eaze or BJayB, but it's always Blackstrike that's in the extra position. While the other two are playing amazingly solid Rocket League, he just does a little bit extra. But now BJayB says, hey, what are you talking about? I'm amazing too. Look at this.
That is a beautiful pinch. You'd expect it to still be safe because it wasn't the fastest of pinch, but it still just snuck into the top of the goal. A great pinch there, almost tying it back up. And we were talking about how you don't want to completely force it, and that you've kind of accepted that this match probably isn't going to be yours. But if you play like this, it may very well be, as we do see them completely coming back into this game, and now only one goal more to go.
Yeah, just that, like, the chances of finishing
that
felt
yes.
some, but wow, that is a lot of great work there. Just BJayB deciding, okay, I'm just going to show you what I can do, flips it up and bumps away Scream. After the salt mine, everything changed, I think, and everybody's now looking for those kind of bump plays so much more.
Are you putting those avatar references in there on purpose, or is that just happened coincidentally?
No, I want to sound innocent, but you know I'm not.
Alright, oh my lord. He's just too much a fan of TV shows, but very good job. And very much mission accomplished so far, at least 90% of it, as we do see the comeback from 3-0. That is a big deficit, and they didn't even need Eaze for it. We're still stuck on 90 points on the side of YouTubes, but he will say points don't matter because he has been playing absolutely formidably so far throughout this series for sure. But another goal still remains to be scored for YouTubes if they want to take this one completely clean.
Ooh, that was a little bit scary there for BJayB. Still got the ball out. And for me, look, the passing plays are in tight control. Passing plays here for you choose, but the thing I can commend other teams for maybe looking for, what they are doing very well, is that every time they play the ball somewhere, holy what a shot. Every time they play the ball somewhere, they make sure there's no opponent there. And that is how they're playing so well. But that is a block and a dunk that Shaq would be just jealous of.
And I love this too from Scream, not taking a shot, instead finding Zedo, and that shot should have been much better, but he still worked out as the 50 followed through. And now, just like we saw in previous game, then it was 20 seconds, now it's 16 seconds left on the clock, and one team leading. To come back from this would be very hard, especially if BJayB just floats under that ball. Eaze will be looking to get it into the middle, can't find it there, and BJayB, Blackstrike in the same position. Scream flies past, the Unique Stars get the win in this game 3.
I wonder if Scream flew past it, like,
on purpose.
On
for
purpose.
Sure.
Just being like, no, I'm just leaving this. This is gonna be good. It's fine. Yeah, that's exactly, like, these players, you can almost assume that everything they do.
Yeah. Surely Scream doesn't fly those past on an accident. He never misses those, right?
No, never. He has kind of never missed those. It would be a surprise there, but it's a good fake and played that very well. Unique Stars coming back very strong. I wonder though if this is going to be like the turning point for you choose though. They've played so well. They've come back so close to being to still going to overtime or even winning this with a couple of good goals. But can they hold on to that, or is it now going to be Unique Stars in that, like, the driver's seat and just running away with it?
Man, I wouldn't be able to tell this one. Grasher, normally I have a very strong opinion on these type of matters, but this one is such a tough one to call because I do feel like YouTube felt like they were in control for those first 2 games, which they also won. But it has been close affairs all around. It has all been 1-goal games so far, and the last one just happened to go in Unique Stars' favor. But I really wouldn't be surprised if the next one managed to go into their favor as well. However, that 3-0 that they were in front just should have been it. That should have been game over, and they did allow you to come back into it. So I am not fully sold on Unique Stars right now.
No, No, fair. And this might just be the fact that they have a sub that are not working with a full roster, or still looking to fill that third place with somebody they can find all the success with. And Caillou seems like a player that is playing pretty well, though. He is doing what he needs to do. He's not spotting into the team perfectly yet, but there's a unique playstyle here with Zeto and Scream, and it's hard to fill in that role when you haven't had the time to do so.
Yeah, definitely unique, but not quite 3 stars yet. More like 2.5 at this point. But it might very well still be enough in this matchup, as Mewtwo's has been looking good, but only at times. It hasn't always been looking great. And the attacks right here, so good for Unique Stars. That one, crossbar, can't quite go in. It was a good opportunity and a good try.
Very, very close chances here, and the attack goes the other way very quickly, but it's not the thing we're used to from Mewtwo. Normally they take a bit more time, a couple more extra passing plays, and now that was a bit more of a desperation shot, trying to see if they can catch the opponent off guard more than trying to set up their own things. Their playstyle seems a bit adjusted, and they might, I feel like there might be a little bit of panic on the Mewtwo side right now.
I think so, right, as well, and I think it is also partly due to how organized Unique Stars is attacking right now. It is not just 3 individuals for throwing themselves at balls. They're often getting these infield passes. This is another example of that. And this game, it hasn't quite worked out in their favor yet, but it will right here, as Scream does find Zeto, and that one sneaks in.
Yeah, this is a kind of playstyle that I love seeing, is that just the amount of pressure you can put on by just hitting the ball back into the midfield over and over and over again, until the point where you can just have all of the opponents bamboozled. And that's the kind of extended play that can really work. You don't often see it working on this level anymore, but Unique Stars has such short lines on their pressure that they can outplay their opponent in that way, and that's something you don't see a lot of teams doing anymore.
No, for sure, and I think it is mainly due to how difficult it is to read, because as if you want to adapt that kind of play style, what is most important is that you do not allow your opponents to get big clears. So there's 2 things that you must do in order to not allow that to happen. Is, first of all, don't put the ball into spots where they can get really good clears, and then when you've done that, you need to read every single touch that they do, and as soon as they do it, you need to be challenging it. And then that's what you see here. Like, the ball gets touched to the side, he realizes how much time he has and makes sure that once again he puts it into an open position. But then you have 2 teammates rotating all the way out, the ball just kind of flips away from you. Oh, that's a great pass though. Oh, what a save!
BJayB. Oh. Nailed it. That was a beautiful save there. What a good chance for, like, that was an insane chance for Unique Stars, and they're still ahead, but they're looking for more chances. I'm starting to get a little bit worried, but this is Eaze. He could have been the man of the match there, tying it up for his team, but he couldn't get it on target.
Nah, some good chances on both sides now, Phil, and it does feel like only a matter of time before another goal is scored in this game, because both teams are knocking on the door. They just haven't gotten the goals yet. That one, Blackstrike onto the backboard. A miss from Zeto, but Eaze does get blocked out. Tries to get it mid. BJayB's there first. Can't be saved by Zeto. And the 1-1 is there.
I want the replays of all these games that YouTube's been playing, because when they get on fire with these kind of quick passes towards each other, they are almost unstoppable, because even if things go completely randomly the other way, there's still someone there to follow up on it. They're creative enough, and now they win a very, they win a kickoff goal with Eaze scoring the goal.
It's not the first time though. Like, I mean, yes, it's the first time that we see a free goal on the kickoff, but it isn't the first time where Mewtwo manages to kind of get away with not playing too well for themselves. Yes, they've had a lot of shots this match, 9 to be exact, but it hasn't always looked too pretty from them. But it has worked. There's only a minute to go. It may as well keep on working for them. So they only need to hold on now. They have that lead. Just need to make sure that they keep it.
Yeah, but with a minute left and still the team knocking on the door, you know that Unique Stars is not gonna like fall down easy. And with that minute, they are gonna be more aggressive, more desperate, and that's where they become very strong because they have organized rotations and passing plays that they can start using to mess with their opponents.
Yeah, for sure. Good pass plays coming out, but so far that's a great demo by Scream. Won't be enough though, as Q can't find the follow-up. But a lot of pressure coming out. Zeta with the double tap, that one gets safe, but Blackstrike a lot of clutch saves now on the side of U-Choose, but they need to as well because the pressure is mounting coming out from Unique Stars. Passing play now. Scream is with Q on the left, but he is without boost. As a result, that's a great 50 from U-Choose. Maybe they can find their third. That one doesn't quite go in. That was the opportunity to see the deal for BJayB.
Yeah, that could have been the deal sealer, the last nail in the coffin, but now only time will tell if this is where it ends. They're going to try and keep it up. Scream is doing a very good job trying to get it to Kaiju, but the ball drops awkwardly forward. They need to go chase after that. BJayB is not touching that. It's still flying towards the other side of the net, but Eaze is there to make sure that it does not go in. Very well played for them. And U-Choose move on. U-Choose move on over Unique Stars.
Yeah, we're gonna have a very upsetty final because so far the tournament hasn't been anything like I expected it to be. A lot of upsets, the main ones being Esports Berg so far, but also momentum shifters, Pioneers, and now top seed Unique Stars being taken down by U-Choose. I was expecting quite a lot out of U-Choose, but I wasn't quite expecting to get this far. Massive props to them for how they performed in this series.
Yeah, the caster curse is still running strong in them, and I'm saying they're not going to win the finals. It's just not going to happen.
We shall see if that will then be what's happening every time any words that Gravashian has muttered, the opposite has happened. But we will have another match first before we do see that final, because we are streaming semi-finals, which means that we get to see which team U-Choose faces up against. It will be 2 Guts, 1 Simp taking on previously on stream Vibin. That will be happening after a break, which will only take 10 minutes. So I hope to see you right after that.
just some more whiskey. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. Saw you in the red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. I
lost my heart. Don't wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Lovely to have all of you here. I hope you're ready for more RocketDash, SummerDash. I'm Sebastian, still here, joined by the illustrious Snacky Juicy. Hello.
Thank you for that introduction, and I hope our matches will also be very illustriously and snacky. I like that word. That's a fun word. But yeah, 2 goals, 1 sim versus 5-5 and we had earlier on in stream, and we had a bit of a gorgeous. Well, I say a bit, but an absolutely gorgeous goal there from Spectre. And I hope to see much more coming out from them here in the semifinals as well.
Yeah, definitely. I hope to see more from them, and especially I want Spectre to up his goal, like make something even more insane happen. I'm wondering if that's even possible. I'm wondering if that, like, a goal that came so out of nowhere and was so spectacular, if that can be one upped. On the other side, I have a question though. You have 2 gods, 1 simp. Okay,
Yes, I was going to ask the same question.
who's the simp?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, we will see their performance on stream, and we will decide for them who the actual simp is.
All right, cool.
that
I
fair?
agree with that. I agree with that. Whoever manages to really smash it for the team will be considered for the gold side, and then the person who plays a part will be the simp for tonight, at least.
So we have Simpar in HD on the one side, and on the other side we still have Spectre Magic and his team Vibin.
I still like that name though. That name really just oozes good vibes, and I think good vibes are so important to play with, because if you're in a good mood, if you're chilling, then you play from your heart, right? You don't really need to overthink anything. You just play on the way that you want to, and the way that comes naturally to you. It always works out really well for teams. So I quite like that team name. I really do.
Yeah. Positive attitude can bring you so far, but this is a beautiful chance here. And I gotta say, the pass to Crispy was, in all intents and purposes, very crispy, but the defense here is just a bit lackluster. I think Toasters wanted to be a bit too up close to that one, and that became an unfortunate moment. Of course, there were a couple of demos happening as well, so there was no one back to that maybe, but still, bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, a bit of an early contention to be the simp of the team, I think, at this point for Tosses, because that turn was wasn't quite the right decision to make in that instance. But it is only 1 goal, nothing too much going on. It is more than 3 minutes still to go in this first match here. Spectre does take it up high, trying to find that second right here. Vibin, a team that we didn't quite really expect to be here in the semi-finals, but they really deserve their spot so far.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well. I'm not sure if they can look up to the teams on the other side of the bracket and fight like them with the same kind of fire. It's Unique Stars and U2s are 2 very different style of teams, and it seems a bit like a different level. But if they can get enough good vibes from this series, then I would see them being able to carry that on.
Yeah, I hope to see it for sure, because I do think it's a team that we've known but not necessarily seen too much of. And getting into the final of this tournament and potentially giving a good fight to the other one, joining them in the top 2 of this tournament, will be a very good feat for them, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform there. But of course, that is only the next hurdle potentially on their way. There is one here, right here, in the forms of 2 golds, 1 simp, who right now are very much struggling.
Yep, and the thing we criticized Vibin for the last series you saw them was they're not doing their passing plays a lot. It was really a single individual skill thing between Super Mode and Vibin, but now I see a completely different Vibin here. They've scored mostly because of good infield passing and just finding each other and the outlets. So that is something that feels completely different. But Toast says, I'm not the simp. Take that point away. I'm a god. Look, I scored the goal. Give it to me.
Yeah, TriToN right here, taking one out of the playbook from Tosses, it feels like, with twice now the last man back being just beaten to challenge and the goal being left open as a result as well, which both teams are now equal, but it has been one more goal for Vibin. They do be vibing a bit though.
Yeah, they be vibing a bit though, massive. But with that, we can just move on to like more things that are a little bit more suited to what we usually do with casting, and that's talking about this game and how it is like kind of happening. And I feel like it's not happening right now for Two Gods One Sim. It just doesn't feel like the team that is making things. They got a good goal, but mostly because of a complete overcommit on the other side, and not because they themselves are making things happen.
I agree, and it is so tough because when you know that you're only scoring off of mistakes from your opponents, you're just praying for them to make more mistakes. But you have to at some point get to the point where you start creating stuff for yourself and you're not reliant on your opponents not playing the absolute best that they can, which right now does feel like it is the case for Two Gods One Sim, that they are relying on that.
Yeah. And this is a style that I think older Rocket League teams that are still doing pretty well in the scene have kind of done. That was the old play style, playing safe, playing very defensively strong, and then waiting for a mistake. And they usually were games where it was like 1 goal max, or maybe 2 goals, 3 goals being scored, and that was it. That was the entire excitement. But I love this new wave of players, this new wave of play styles, where they just say, we're gonna take our destiny into our own hands and just show it that we deserve these wins, and not just hope that our opponent just gives us these wins.
Yeah, it's the mentality of I'd rather score 7 goals with the opponent scoring 6 than not scoring any and losing by 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's also more exciting to watch a more aggressive playstyle compared to the very passive and defensive. But this is good. Beating out the defender with a very tight pass there was Kale, and the finish there from Tosis was pretty decent as well.
Yeah, the pass was very good too because it hit the backboard just hard enough for it to be a very, very tough read for TriToN. And in fact, the read that he couldn't make and he couldn't do, and because of that, we do see an all-equal game here, and it has been so close today, Gavashin, between all the teams that we've seen so far. I can't count on one hand the amount of overtimes we have, but this one won't be added to that tally as the TriToN finishes that one off, but it was all Spectre just beating out Cal.
Yeah, Spectre again, just zooming out of the shadows, going boop this time. Just very simple, good touch, gets it towards net, and TriToN able to get the finish on that one. 6 seconds, I mean, still all to play for. This is where I would advise teams to have a good tactic.
Yeah, no, they didn't have a good tactic.
No,
Nope.
I think they had an anti-tactic here. Just nothing.
Yeah, it was as soon as you said they got everything to play for, that ball would fly in towards the net for 2 goals, 1 sim, but they go back so well. It was, what, 16, 18 seconds back on the clock, and they managed to still lose this one by 2 goals. Vibin just overall seems so much more in control of this game, and I think the shots is the one thing to look out for this game, where the biggest really change between these 2 teams was visible, because it was a lot of shots on this side of Vibin, 11 to be exact, and only 3 on the side of Gods and Simp.
Yeah, Gods and Simp just holding out on us, I think, a little bit. Maybe they need to get into the vibe a little bit more and see how they can play against their opponent. But now we need a Simp check. For me, like Simp is usually like a kind of player that it has certain air to it. I want to kind of give it to Tosis.
Oh, I was going to say something.
He got the goals, but he seems to be trying too hard. The other 2 are just doing their thing, but he tries so hard not to be the Simp that he's obviously the Simp for now.
Yeah, he tries hard and then fails miserably.
Yeah.
Tosis
So that's
Simp.
Tosis for now, the Simp, change our minds.
They'll be looking to do exactly that, though, because the series, there's a score, was so close, so long, and Tosis being gifted one here on the side of of the side of Vibin, TriToN with a bit of an oops coming out from himself.
I mean, this is obvious. Toast is being so desperate, paying off Spectre to hit that ball in for him. Has to be.
That's how big a simp he is.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
how big a simp he needs to pay people to help him score. It's getting worse and worse for his case, but it's still a good start here for Two Gods One Simp. They are doing very well, and they are looking to again, not through their own control, mostly through mistakes, like big mistakes this time. And we shouldn't see them out of Vibin any more than just that one. But still, not really an own hand destiny kind of situation here for Two Gods One Simp.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's an argument that was raised as well in the higher areas of Rocket League, where it is of course Overloach mainly employing that playstyle of we'll just keep it clean and hopefully we win in the end. And I think, I'm not quite sure who said it anymore, but there was a caster who basically said it is an alright playstyle, but it isn't going to win you any tournaments. And I think that might very well be the case here for Two Gods One Simp 2. You can beat out all the weak opponents, but once you get to the stronger ones, a team like Vibin, you are going to have issues finding the back of the net because they don't make as many mistakes.
Yeah, if you run into a team that also doesn't make any mistakes, it's either going to be 0-0 for very, very long, or you eventually get a goal out of a weird situation. Imagine.
Horror out of a beautiful air dribble. That's possible too. TriToN dragged that one all the way using his car aerial so beautifully to get the angle. That's a gorgeous goal to separate these two teams here.
So first game, they really went well and looked for team plays. Just good passing, good control, and worked through that. And this game, they still show that they can do a lot of fancy things. And here now, they're getting one more passing play off. TriToN not able to finish that one. The shot still there. It's wide. Kill now. Looking at a bit of an open net chance, but it gets kind of messed up by Rexer there.
But I like the fact that their third once again just decided to go up there for Vibin. It wasn't a fact of, oh, I'll just fake challenge, rotate back to goal, doing a flakesy. Now instead they just stay upfield, they try and keep that ball into the opponent's half, and they trust themselves that even if they don't get the best challenge, it will be one that is good enough to not concede an open net immediately.
Yeah, it is. It shows a big like sign of skill that you can take those kind of small risks, but they're calculated. You know that you're not going to be running into a wall that quickly. But again, the attack is there, the chance is there. Crispy not finishing, and Spectre just apparating to make sure that that still finds the back of the net.
And we were talking about how when two teams that don't really make that many mistakes will just the goals will be some weird stuff happening, and I think we've seen both now. We've seen a great play by TriToN, but that was definitely a weird one and very unfortunate on the side of Two Gods One Simp. But it does go in, and it does put us equal as well on the gifted goals, because we've seen one on either side now, and Vibin the one to lead in this game.
Yeah, do we want to rename them? Like, let's say they lose this series, they do not make it. Do they become Two Sims, One Chimp?
Or just three Sims.
Or just do three Sims. Yeah, three Sims is fine too. I mean, they can sim for 5-5 then, but it's looking not that good for them right now.
No, for sure. But Vibin just walking away with this one. They were struggling in the last game to score their most goals until the last 16 seconds, but now they're already at 3 with just over half a game gone, and that almost another opportunity. Crispy will be trying to finish that one up, does find a crossbar, but the pressure was again being put there, and Two Gods One Simp, when they do halftime, they're not taking it, and as a result they are forced into the pressure that comes out from Vibin.
Yeah, the pressure from 5-5 is not airtight. They have small moments of like not being there yet. So I feel like they're not at their maximum strength yet. There is still a thing or two they can do, but they are still looking so strong. And I really love their playstyle. They're showing us what good vibes can bring you.
Yeah, Vibin, definitely running away with this series as well. That's a bit of a costly double commit. Maybe this one time it will be punished as Dus's goes for the ceiling shot. Still has his flip, and that's the crossbar. Heartbreaking right here. That ball is just wide too. It's not on the goals don't really seem to be on the side of 2 goals, 1 simp right here.
Yeah, it is still all pole palooza, and that is not what you want if you need to come back. But again, they do not have the accuracy here, and that it feels indicative of like the team that's behind here is the team that makes a couple more mistakes, but also in offense doesn't make the right decisions shooting wise and gets the right shots off, and is falling further and further behind. Like if you are already a bit shaky on the defensive end, the offensive end can just have the same thing happening again, and it does feel a little bit like that.
Yeah, for sure. And only 30 more seconds left here, which means that we're probably going to see another Vibin win, and as the gods get onto the side of 2 goals, 1 sim, maybe they need to make a sacrifice here. I volunteered tosses as a sacrifice, and maybe it will end up working out for 2 goals, 1 sim.
Yeah, they need to sacrifice their virgin, appease their gods to get their power. That's what you sacrifice, right? You sacrifice a virgin
Sure.
cat or a chicken or person, something.
I'm not quite sure if you're making this one better with the longer that we talk, but Tosis, if you watch this back, I'm sorry, but it is the truth. Vibin taking the second game here as well, away from 2 goals, 1 simp. Just not showing up so far when it matters most, and Vibin will be looking almost towards the final with how comfortably they've been looking here.
Yeah, they are coming true to their name, and where Spectre last series that we saw had the most insane goal with that on his back redirect in the air with insane power towards the top of the net, perfect shot. I think the air dribble we saw here from TriToN was the absolute masterpiece, the cherry on top of the what seems to be a good chance of winning for Vibin. We can still have a comeback from 2 gods, 1 simp. They can get into that right flow, but they could also fall flat a little bit if they do not step up now. What would you tell them to change if you really want them to still win?
Oh, that's a really tough one because at this point it just feels like they're getting out pressured by Vibin and not being allowed to really play their games. But what they need to do is realize that 50 from the third man is coming in from Vibin and play into that. So what I would say is keep the ball closer out of defense, go for these 50s and be ready to follow up on them, because if you manage to get your opponent into that 50 when they're the third man and then beat them to the next ball, that is almost a guaranteed open net that you have.
Yeah, so playing through that one single mistake, and that is what no, that's not what you want to see. I wanted to talk about something else, but TriToN shuts me up very quickly with a beautiful pass to Spectre, who returns the favor and gets that first goal on the board for Vibin.
Yeah, both of them so quick, and that deserves a bit of hype, as we do see a hype train getting started as well in the chat. Thank you, Bob, Dino, and Hamut for all the support onto this channel, and the gameplay is definitely worth it so far, especially if you're closing your eyes whenever 2 goals, 1 simp is hitting the ball, because Vibin is playing out of their minds. So many great passes and so many great chances. Really looking forward to what else they bring us in this series.
Yep, let's see if they can bring out some kind of magic. I mean, if you have 2 gods in your team, they should be able to play with fate just a little bit and change the outcome. Maybe they're just doing this to give Vibin the idea of that they have a choice, that they think they can win, and just to take that away. Maybe they are cruel gods and they want their opponents to be in a positive mindset before they snatch it all away from the jaws of victory.
The jaws of victory do seem to be closing down around them and crushing them to bit, like some very big teeth that they're being forced into, and it isn't really the place that you want to be in. And then if you manage to miss out on these open nets as well, it doesn't really get much prettier, and your opponents just start trying to musty flick on you, and instead they get a good chance. Almost a goal there from Spectre. Shot could have been a bit better. And if that was the case, we would have seen the 2-0 here.
Yeah, the 2-0 I think was very deserved there with the attack, but I mean, if you shoot it at the pre-jumping defender, then yeah, you're just not going to hit the goal. So precision there a little bit lacking from Vibin, but still those chances look so good. Those kind of quick infield passes are the best thing you can do as a team, and I always love seeing teams doing it. It's such a treat when you get those kind of good passing plays going.
Oh yeah, for sure, because sometimes they're risky too, so you need to be on the same page, otherwise you just keep on getting punished and punished for it, and that is not the case here, as we do see them being pulled off very nicely by Vibin, and then they've got such a strong tool to take your opponents on their back foot, because they don't expect a shot to be coming out of a different angle than the one that would initially have come in.
Nope, and I gotta say, just a big shout out to the chat and how you guys are doing it. This is amazing to see the kind of support RocketDash is setting up an amazing tournament, and you guys are paying it back in full. So from me and from RocketDash and everyone, thank you so much for all this. Let's continue with the rest of the game and what you all came here for, because we shouldn't really be talking about other things. Let's get into what might be the last game here for 2 belts, 1 sim.
It could very well be, and I think with what we've seen so far, it is also the most expected outcome at this point, especially if TriToN put that one in, but he had a bit of a backflip going on. Doesn't matter though, because he gets demoed. He's all the way back, and now Spectre can look for the pass once more. Good shot too. TriToN almost find that second, but the pressure remains, and that's what we've seen so far the entire time out of this team, where one shot may not go in, but they keep up that pressure and they do not let you get out of defense.
Nope, and when the counter-attack that you would expect could go very well just peters out before it even gets a chance to sniff the net, it just feels like it's not going to be your day if you can't turn that switch quick enough and have everybody charge in for the counter-attack if you are this far behind, because you need a goal. They need at least 1 goal now, of course, to stay in, but just to get their confidence back a little bit. Just 1 goal is what you need to step back up and say, okay, we can still do this. We are not down and out just yet.
But it does feel like every player on the side of 2 goals, 1 sim, just consistently gets outpaced by one of the orange cars, and that is a beautiful counter-attack. We were talking about them on the other side of the field, but this is just a masterclass at this point by Vibin on showing how to exactly pull off counter-attacks.
Okay, Crispy, that was pretty nice. That was a good touch to get that ball on net there. It wasn't Spectre level. I'm still going to give the best goal here to TriToN, because that was kind of good. And unless you can outfake them here well, but waiting a little bit too long, they have complete control. Look at all these sims on the field right now. They're doing exactly what their opponents want them to do.
Yeah, they're playing into their hands, and they're doing so without any second thought about it, and all the fakes also coming out with Vibin. It's almost disrespect at this point, but if Spectre's managing to take out 2 players, then get a flip reset 2, you still don't manage to score. That's when it's really tough, and that chance also not in. Rexer also tries that for itself as well, but there seems to be some gods as well on the other side of the pitch that are just guarding the goal for Vibin right here, because that ball just doesn't want to go in.
Nope. It's just all over, and 1 fake. And then the step over by TriToN. They are putting in a masterclass, and again, they almost get that goal in. Still, big ups to these players. I always want to mention it because I sometimes just don't see it enough, and that is all the GGs in the chat, all of the positive notes that these players are giving. Lovely. It is something I always respect so much from players if they are able to do that. Win or lose, saying GG and just staying well played to your opponent and doing those kind of things just shows a level of respect among peers that's really cool, and I think is always a very welcome thing.
It wasn't all GGs though.
No,
One
it
of
was
them
also
said
GGAs.
GGA. I don't know what that was, but I mean, they messed up. They messed up not between the games, so good job on that. The games were all very clean on the side of Vibin, much cleaner than their typing, and as a result, they will be moving on to the final as well, which is should be a very good one with what we've seen so far. We saw the upset from U-Choose over Unique Stars, a very good game on that side of the bracket, but then right here as well, Vibin wasn't a team that I was expecting to make it this far, but they've had a miracle run so far, beating out the team that beat out Esportsburg and then Supermod in the quarterfinals and now in the semifinals. 2 Gods, 1 Simp also falls to these Vibin Titans. And that matchup you choose versus Vibin, do you have any quick thoughts before we go into the break until that match?
Well, we've seen 3 Simps, we've seen Vibes, and we've seen what your choices can do. All of these things show us a unique like setup here for this final, and I feel for me the stars are going to be Vibin because I know how my caster curse powers work, and I'm secretly rooting for you choose because I've always loved seeing her play.
No. Say it the other way around.
What?
You're
No,
not.
no, no.
You're not rooting for you choose.
No, I am rooting for Vibin because I love their chill.
Okay.
I love the way they're playing. And you choose, well, they're just gonna see where they end up, and good luck to both teams, of course, because
Wait, but
I
you've
What?
now mentioned both with the caster curse. So who's going to get caster cursed?
that's the thing. Now we don't know. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so tense. Which negative caster curse is stronger? Who knows? Maybe you can weigh in on this one and see where we end up.
We will see, and it will be very shortly. But first, we had to do a very quick break.
And hello and welcome back for the last time. Here for the finals today, we have You Choose versus Vibin. It's gonna be epic. I'm still Gavastian, and this is still the, well, what should we call you now? The spookifying Juicy.
We're really getting into that Spectre theme, aren't we? Today?
Yeah.
I
It's
wish
not October yet. But
fair enough. I wish
we're
I'd
prepping.
seen Ghostbusters, so I could, you know, have a bit of puns there. But that is another thing that I just haven't watched.
Oh, it's been a while, but the biggest thing I've learned from that, if an extraterrestrial or godly being asks you if you're a god, say yes. That's what I've learned. That's the most important thing. If you get asked that question, just say yes.
I'll keep that in mind, and well, the players should keep in mind is to be here when everyone is asked if they're ready, which apparently isn't the case. But let's see if they can get the lightning show going so that we don't have to reset the entire lobby. And that is the case. Everyone is here. All the players are ready. I'm ready. You're ready. And we get to see this final, which is quite an unexpected one.
Yeah, it is not the finals everybody saw here on paper, but it is going to be the finals we get. It's not the finals we deserve, but it's the finals we needed. And with that, Spectre is already giving that great pass to Crispy, and Crispy is saying, we're starting this one off strong. Let's have our first goal right now.
Yeah, good start there by Vibin, and this is something that we talked about before the entire stream as well, because we were sort of thinking about, are we going to stream 4 matches? Are we going to stream 3 matches? So are we going to stream both semifinals? And I said, I still stand by this, but I know you think about it differently. I think it really favors the second semi-finalist because you are much warmer because you just go out of a competitive match and you immediately jump back into one, which I think is really favorable. So I think this one favors Vibin, but I know you had other thoughts about it as well.
I can see where you're coming from, and I respect the idea, but I feel like part of that is also what is your warm-up routine and how good are you, and how good is the captain / coach with talking to a team beforehand to get them fired up, because there are ways to make sure that is not the kind of problem you're running into. But Eaze already wants to start this one off strong, and maybe we'll get one game. It's a best of 7. There's all the time in the world for them to come back, of course.
Yeah, lots of time, and with that shot by Eaze, if that had gone in especially, I wouldn't be giving the arguments that I did, because then you're definitely warm, but it doesn't quite go in. It was a nice try. Maybe if he played in this previous semi-final, he would have scored it.
Maybe, but it could also be that because of the previous one, you aren't expecting, like, every time you go against a new team, you kind of need to have a reset, but wow. We do not see any kind of stopping from Vibin. They just want to keep this party going as strong as possible. What a shot again.
Oh man, I swear, if I got $1 every single time that this Vibin squad makes a team play in which all 3 players are involved, I would be able to fund this entire prize pool.
Probably. That's kind of the way they are playing, because we haven't even seen all their games yet, so we might even be able to double the prize pool if that's the case. But okay, they can also do individual plays, and they are going completely crazy right now.
And that was a bit of a freebie though. He's a bit too far pushed upfield, and BJayB still on the rotation back. There was no way he was going to save that, and that is game 1 more or less over, I would almost say. I mean, we have seen the comeback earlier today in which the team was leading 3-0, but the way that Vibin has been playing so far throughout the tournament and this match as well, I'm not quite sure we're going to see that. And then if that doesn't even sneak in from Eaze, it's going to be a tough one.
No, what?
Oh,
No, what? What? How? Okay, that, like, you can give $1 for the whole team being part of it, but why is that?
That dunk was insane by BJayB. I'm not quite sure. I don't even think that was intended, but it worked out. It's fine. It was all calculated.
Welcome to Rocket League pachinko machines. We don't know where the ball is going, but neither do the players. What a goal to start it off for them. This is Choose probably getting back into at least a good feeling, because Vibin was kind of playing on them for a bit.
Yeah, and I think at this point we might see them go AFK for a minute when they rush to the local shop to grab some top lottery tickets, because that one was quite fortunate on their side. That's a good pass though, but Blackstrike with an uncharacteristic miss. We've seen him score a lot of goals, but that one certainly wasn't one of them.
Yeah, he's usually a bit more consistent. Like you said, I think there is an argument for not being warm and not coming out of a competitive match. But I think overall, if I look at it from a tournament organizer standpoint, you want to have more games. And it's kind of like if you come in from the lower bracket and you should be playing it through a good bracket set, I mean, does it matter enough? These teams seem warmed up within a minute of the game, and they're now going toe-to-toe with team plays and weird stuff that's happening.
Yeah, and I think Spectre could be the one to really look at for that goal. I think he couldn't really save it with the position that he was in, but that position was the exact mistake that he made. Bit of a ball side rotation. You hate to see it. You just want to loop around, have some more time, give yourself a good angle on the ball, and you're in a much favorable position to save that one. He didn't do it there, got punished for it. And the entirety of the team being punished as well as this one almost sneaking in as well. And that comeback that I did not see coming for Choose almost completed. For this one, we'll make it a tad harder as Crispy does find the pass to TriToN.
It is unfortunate he cannot clear the ball well enough. BJayB, awkward position, came in but cut it a little short, so he had to jump up without a lot of power. And if you jump straight up, yeah, you can knock the ball mostly straight up or on very weird angles, but it seems like this first game is the appetizer. I hear a lot of casters always saying the first game is, this one's a throwaway. I love one of my players always says the first pancake is for the children, because the first pancake is usually a bit messed up, and then the ones after that are for the entire team and the group and everyone else. The first one is usually a bit meh, and I feel like this game is the meh game, but we're coming to the end of that bit of question mark gameplay, and we're going to have two teams that are going to be very close together in power and in playing, I think.
That's what my parents also said when they had me before my brother.
Oh, that's the worst. Your parents are, I mean, as long as they raised you well, I think saying that is semi-okay.
I mean, I'm here, Gravastrian. Well, do you really think I was raised well?
Yeah, you're here with me. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sorry. Can't be helped. But we'll try to make the best of it.
Sleep. Just like I feel like Choose will be crying themselves to sleep over the start of this game, because their entire game has been so strong, bar the first minute in which they were 3-0 down. It would have been almost an easy win for them had they not conceded those early 3 goals, but they ended up doing that, and as a result, Vibin will take this first game as they are 2 goals up, and with only 10 more seconds to go, that should be plenty unless this one sneaks in. That doesn't. That means we lose C. The first game going in the favor for Vibin.
Yeah, I always feel like if that ball does go in at those last 10 seconds, you have 10 seconds left and it gets super exciting and everything. You know, as a caster, you could prep your best Shogun impression, and you're like, this could be it. This could be your moment. This could be your Shogun moment, and you could scream the thing that all casters want to scream, because it is always very, very exciting if we can get there. It was a rough start for Choose, but they seem to be back in form the second half of the game. And with that, Vibin, they're not going to have an easy win again. I'm pretty sure.
I agree. It was a freebie, this one. I will say with full confidence, because if we look at the score board, it tells plenty of stories. 8 saves on the side of Vibin, 11 shots on the side of Choose, and only 5 shots on the side of Vibin. Yeah, they still scored 4 goals. They literally got a freebie in the first minute, and I think if we see the exact same thing happening the next game, at least the last 4 minutes, if that is the same thing as in this game, then Choose completely takes that match.
Yeah, they're gonna walk away with that one. At the end, that's not how it goes. And if you're the team that comes in and thinks like, okay, you know what, we can come in and be the stronger team, it can be a bit of an ego blow. And that is one of those things that I think the best teams are not affected that much by not being warm. I think that's what separates good teams from the greatest, from the legendary teams that are always ready. They're always DTF, and they're always going to be able to play for whatever they need to be playing for. Whenever you, even if you just wake them up, they'll be like, Rocket League, yeah, let's go tournament, $1 million on the play. Sign me up. We're doing this right now. Not even rubbing the sleep from their eyes because they're just that ready.
Yeah, they're definitely DTRL. Always down to Rocket League. These guys very much ready to be given what is ahead of them, and I agree with you that it is very important to always be ready. But I do feel like there's always going to be players who really just sort of lose that speed that they have on later in the series, and there's always going to be players that feel like that need some time to actually warm up. And it doesn't necessarily make them worse, I don't think.
Oh, fair. I think it could go either way, but now they are just looking at Vibin and saying, okay, you've got that playbook, but we have that playbook too, with a beautiful pass to Eaze, who just booms it into the net. Crispy almost getting a touch there, so it was a decent chance for them to save that, but it looks like Vibin is going to be on the back foot for now.
Yeah, they seem to have the sequel to the playbook so far, where everything that Vibin tries to do, you choose does, but they can't batter for letting in the first 3 goals in that first game. But tries to make things a little bit more rosy for the Vibin squad.
Yeah, there was also a weird bit of double committing in the midfield there for U2. They were having a quiet team discussion there, facing each other, almost rule one-ing there, and then double committing on a couple of attacks. So they're not out of the woods just yet, and they need to make sure that those kind of mistakes don't happen in crucial moments. But for now, they're still looking like the stronger team, and I'm not going to say they're going to win because I know how my castigers works. Either team could still take this.
For sure, and I think that wouldn't even be a cast of curse at this point, because there's still 3 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time for stuff to happen in this match, even though it has been a very blue affair. And I think at this point Vibin won't be vibing as much. They will be feeling a little blue about themselves, because only 2 shots in this half game, and this one won't make matters better because B finds a gorgeous shot in the top corner.
Yeah, BJayB, again, one of those dunks that signifies the kind of insane goals that we can keep getting here from YouTubes. And that is, like we talked before, that's the turbo pulsar effect. Just throwing your car at it, just doing those random weird things, just creates space for your team. And that is one of those moments you just know, if I can get the block there, it's good. If I don't, I'll just recover and go back. That's fine. But being okay to look like an idiot is one of the strongest things you can have as a player. If you do not have shame and missing a ball is okay, then you know you're going to be playing a little bit faster and a little bit more reckless, and your opponent can reach you a little bit less.
I mean, we're literally talking about Turbo here, and that's the guy who is known for scoring own goals in grand finals of the biggest of tournaments, and yet still the most decorated Rocket League player ever. Is insane to think about.
Yeah, it is the no shame policy. Once you have that, once you have trained to be that, you can be the very best without ever falling down, because you're never going to doubt yourself, because you don't have to.
For sure, I agree. No shame in Turbo Pulsar. Also deciding to get a new team for himself, because winning everything is just a bit too easy, and it seems to be working out decently. But Europe still the best region, and we see it here as well. This is a tournament full of bubble scene players, and you would expect it to be a level above the absolute best of Europe. But if the new format is anything to go by, it just means that the entirety of Europe has gotten so close to each other.
Yeah, the thing for me with the bubble scene is that since I've been casting them for 4 years, the teams that made our RLCS after the first wave of SAR players were all people that played bubble scene and just moved on from there. And then the next wave did it, and the next, and it just keeps going on like that. And our bubble scene is so good that it's always going to be tense who's going to be making RLCS, especially with the format that people actually stand a good choice, but chance. But what are you doing, Eaze? You are just bullying the opponent right here.
Oh, and the fact that he got the jump over that first guy as well, coming in for the demo, and then the bump onto Crispy himself. That's unsafeable. You choose on a roll right now. That's so many goals unanswered at this point. 9 shot yet again in this match, only 2 being conceded on the side of Vibin. I think if this continues, we may very well see a game in which Vibin just completely unable to take a single shot if this continues. Oh, BJayB, just add some oil to the fire, please.
Oh, stop it, guys. You are now actually bullying that. What was complete control, dropping down the ball, Crispy not ready for it, not even needing the flip and set. The touch there can already throw off, because I've always noticed that the bottom end of the car is so volatile. Sometimes it bounces off very quickly, but sometimes you just almost get the ball in a dead stop. And as a defender, it's impossible to read when a player goes to that kind of touch. But we see here the counter-attack with BJayB is back in time, and Spectre cannot come back from the dead to get the first goal for his team right now.
And I think even if they do score a goal here, I think you could still medically consider them dead for 1 in only 15 seconds. 2 go would be that case, so there is not much going on for them at that point. Maybe they will find a goal, but not if Crispy decides to can we just save his teammates' attempts.
He's just said to his teammate, no, my ball, go away. I want to do this. Now, let me show you what I can do. And then completely whiffing it. That's, I like that too. Just being like, no, I got this. And then and nothing happened. Like, cool. What did you just have? I'm not sure. What was it? What did you do? Because that was nothing. But still, this game, Vibin, kind of feeling like nothing. What can they do to come back?
Hope that you choose forgot how to play the game is one thing. The other thing is conceding until match point and hoping you choose strokes. Because at this point, I really don't think anything is in the hands of Vibin, because you choose is playing so well for themselves.
Yeah, they are completely going off. They're going off script completely and just rewriting their entire movie is being rewritten by themselves on the field right now. And a fun fact that we are getting from the production staff, and of course, great shout out to the RocketDash production staff. You guys are all amazing. But apparently, the last tournament that was hosted by this group of people was called ... or the team was called ... That was the team that won, and Eaze and BJayB were in that team. So they're the defending champions for the RocketDash tournament. They are here to come back and do it again.
And to rob the treasury from the RocketDash community, because it has been a good amount of money on the line here. 300 euros to be exact on the line in this matchup. And with Crispy almost on goaling, that's not a great start here in this game as well, when they are already very much trailing in this series.
Yeah, I'm always fond of like scoring an early own goal, because it seems like team posing for dominance. It's what Turbo does. You just own goal and then just to show that you are not afraid of them. You're like, every goal that gets scored is because of me or us. We decide who scores and where, not you. You have nothing to do with this game. It's all us.
I agree, that works, but that only works if the rest of your game is dominant, and that has not been the case so far for Vibin. That is a good passing play though, but a shot not too great, and just very easily saved away from the backboard by BJayB. And every single time Vibin has tried to attack, this has been the case. It has just been defended well, and it hasn't been too dangerous.
Yeah, I feel things have changed over the last few years. Like, Rocket League has always evolved from step to step, and it now seems that double touches off the sidewall when people fly up and just hit the ball and just double touch it off the sidewall just to pass it back again becomes so commonplace. It became so easy to read by defenders now that it's not even really creating any extra space. And that's so nutty to see that every time a new thing happens where people start making space with it, like flip resets now, they're going to be easily read and almost like non-useful at a point because people can start reading them so well.
Yeah, I love that casually you said it as well. Like, oh yeah, just a flip reset, backboard double tap with a 720 helicopter shot corner along with it as well. That's I saw that yesterday as well while I was eating my breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, my little brother did it last night. He's only 4, but I mean, we gave him the controller for a bit. He can do that, so everyone should, right?
He did it with one hand as well. He's
Oh
that
yeah.
good.
He lost the other in a fire. It was kind of sad, but still impressive. Very impressive.
I just love these watching these young kids. They often have so many mechanics. I mean, the first one to come to mind is a Strub Killer a few years back, but there's plenty to go around as well now. His first killer is still quite young over in NA in Europe. I'm not quite sure if you're familiar with Atoll, but Fago's younger brother, absolutely insane player as well, slowly making his rounds. I think he's 13 now, so he's plenty of time to go as well. It's just so much fun to, when you are in this bubble scene, really see these kids just have absolute glow-ups, being able to carry complete teams.
Yeah, I think the biggest blow for me, because Scrubkilla had such expectation on him, the biggest for me was Justin. Because Justin was a player that was going to revolutionize NA and Rocket League as a whole. And then what he did was play the perfect anchor player with his mechanics, with everything. He made the insane shots and goals, but he changed the team on his own. And that is something that just showed such maturity for such a young player for me.
Justin, for me, is damn near the perfect player. He really, his mechanics are just so perfect that every single time he tries to read something, he gets the perfect read. I'm always amazed by the touches that he gets. It's a joy to watch on stream. Right here, these players are good in their own regards, but nowhere near that level, because that's just the absolute best of the best. And Blackstrike showing us exactly why I say that, as he misses that pre-flip. He tries very well, can quite finish it off.
I mean, not yet. These players still have time to grow and they still can get a lot further. But good news for Vibin. They have kept their goal clean for the first 4 minutes of the game. They're still looking good. Just one goal and they could be the one taking this next game. And that is something that I wasn't really expecting, seeing the last goal being so dominant by YouChoose. And I think that's going to be something that this is going to boost their confidence. Don't you think, Juicy?
I mean, yes and no, because yeah, we say it was close, but it's still a lot of chances, and this one actually slipping in. BJayB on the back of the net, and I was about to say that it's already 10 shots on the scoreboard for YouChoose. Yes, they didn't go in, but as this one does, they do have the lead with 30 seconds, and I think YouChoose just really running away with this entire series.
Oh my, what a play. As you saw them doing great passing plays and things like that on the side of YouChoose, and individually fancy things once their opponent was broken. That first goal was complete destruction, just aggressive play. The second one is the basic passing plays we've seen. So they're on a roll still, and just one crack needed to bust this diamond wide open for Vibe.
Yeah, it is not looking too pretty, and the diamond was absolutely shining in that semi-final in which Vibin got that 3-0, and it looked so strong in that first game, their start as well, and ever since then they've been nearly non-existent as that fake for me. He's always grabbing yet another goal. It is only 2, but it's still a lot of salt in the wounds for our boys right here in orange.
Yep, the orange team. I wish Vibin was doing a bit better. I think they're a team that deserves to be in this finals. They've worked their way through a lot of very strong teams, but at the end of this, it just seems like, yeah, beating 2 gods, 1 simp. It felt, I mean,
good.
not, yeah,
Clean.
it felt it felt clean. It felt clean for them, but it wasn't like, oh, you've beaten a team that looked insane. But they beat Supermode as well, and Supermode just felt like a team that wasn't supposed to be there. They also beat the team that knocked out Esports Berg, and I think Vibin is just a team that can still do this. They can still come back from this, but it's looking less and less likely as you choose is just piling on more and more pressure.
Yeah, it really feels like they're stuck in the water and they're flailing and they are shooting their what do you call that, a warning fireworks thing, but no one is responding because they're in the middle of the Atlantic. That's how it feels right now. They're trying their absolute best, but nothing really seems to have an impact on the way that the games go. They held on for much longer in the previous game, but it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's stuck in the Atlantic. It's stuck in a very big, like a very big pond, but they're stuck smack dab in the middle. You just can't decide which way they want to swim out of, and waiting longer and longer is just going to fatigue you. Yes, just swim down. That'll be the way to get out. But it just feels like they're not making the right choices.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel that's like it was a joke, but that's what it feels like. It feels like rather than getting out of the situation, they're almost making it worse for themselves by what they're trying to do, and he's trying to make it worse as well with a great flip reset. Quite find the goal with it, but they're just on a roll right now, and it feels like whatever is being tried for Vibin, it isn't working. But they do find the goal here, though. The first shot of the game for them, and it does turn into goal after great demo for Crispy.
Yeah, and BJayB is being really bullied there, held up by the opponent, not able to do anything. And Spectre finding that angle. It wasn't a big angle because there was already somebody challenging the shot, so good on him as well to make sure that one happens. And with it being 2-1 for you choose, and this being only game 4, Vibin can still put this back on an even playing field.
Yes and no. I think if there's anything for them to gain from that goal, first of all, they need to hold on to this lead, which I think is already going to be a very tough task for them. But what I would like for them to take away is the fact that display worked, the demo worked, and we've seen plenty of demo plays from them earlier on in the game as well, where they just put 3 people all the way upfield and they get a demo so that it works without it being too dangerous. That's what it feels like is happening here. They've made that realization that I asked for, and it's working out as well. As that show from Spectre is the second.
Okay, this was a bit of a bim bam boom pachinko machine kind of goal once again here, with BJayB trying to play it away and still somebody there to challenge that ball. Getting a little bit lucky, the ball bouncing very well for them. The finish was good, and this is a good start. I mean, this is how we started the first game with 5-5 and just getting a couple of goals real quick. It's not as quick and it's not as many goals yet, but maybe they can get that third one, and with that kind of a momentum that I have on their side, they can hold out this game at least.
I mean, that's what we thought in game 1, because there were 3 goals up, and then this sort of thing happened as well. It wasn't quite the full comeback there in that game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still see here out of you choose. That was a great play as well, Bastrian.
Yeah, a beautiful aimed shot there from Blackstrike that just works him past the defenders with no chance of stopping that one. And that's the kind of mistakes, the indecision, and it happens mostly during kickoffs, of course, because that's the moment where a good team that prepares for a kickoff knows where their players are going to be. Like, you can make it happen very well. A bad team just flounds around until everybody has boost and finds their position, like we saw here with you choose, because there was nobody back.
And a great team also doesn't want their teammates to get any points and instead steals it on the goal line. Crispy, you naughty boy, but brings himself onto a goal here as well, joining Spectre on the goal sheet is Crispy, and with another one being added to the tally right here with a good 50 from Spectre. This game does seem to be sort of done and dusted, and it does mean that we finally have Vibin back into this series.
Vibin's back in. They are straight Vibin right now, and they are looking to at least tie it up. And I love it. I love the fact that here in the best of 7, we saw the first game like, ooh, it's not really warm here for you choose. That they need to start working on that. After that, they start firing on all cylinders and become this destructive force that's almost unstoppable. But now, Vibin, who looked down and out, are fighting back. They're coming back. We are getting this exciting, amazing finals here for the RocketDash SummerDash, and I feel very lucky being able to cast this for you because this is a pleasure.
The only thing that would make it better if this trend continues and we get to see a Game 7 all the way at the end, because that would be very, very high. That's, of course, still a long way to go. And if we look at you choose, if you press tab, it is sort of visible to see what has been the issue so far. I'm not going to name it, but one of the players doesn't quite seem to have that many points here, Bastion.
Yeah, and I think it's that player.
Yeah.
That player that just missed a shot that should have been in, that we are not going to name. He is not like Voldemort. He's not going to gain strength when we name his name. He's just, like, again, shame. This is bad. This is, like, step up, Mr. Person that we are not naming, because your team needs you right now.
Yeah, exactly. Step up, Mr. And
Mr. Obi-Wan.
Starts with a B, ends with a B, and has an ESL monthly elite title.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Like-
naming names.
No, I mean, we are basically saying, help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope, or at least you choose his only hope, and you need to get that done. But can we get the ball in here still? No. Can they still come back with a 1 minute to go? It is possible, mathematically, still possible, but it's so improbable now. So this second game is gonna go to Vibin, and we have a tight series.
Yeah, I think we can very much say that unless Eaze manages to find a goal there. Doesn't do that, and as well a touch from BJayB just going straight down to Crispy. Good passing play though, still here on the side of you choose, but that one should have been in. And if we're gonna hit the post again, then it's just ridiculous. At this point, I think we should just name him.
Yeah, BJayB, what the are you doing? That was again an open net that you missed. Please, man, you can do this. This is not. This is not rocket science. It's Rocket League. You can do this. We believe in you still. But Vibin, straight Vibin once again. That pass was nuts. Look at this pass. Look at it.
Oh, that's a great read by TriToN, but it's all from Spectre just to be expecting that touch out of your teammates. And it seems like when you choose is struggling, Vibin is taking full advantage of it, where just have them completely running away with this game in the series. You choose now will be scratching behind their ears, wondering where did they go wrong, because that they did. They were really looking so solid, and now they basically just go clap 5-1.
Yep. And the question is this going to be recoverable? Oh, they got a consolation goal. That's kind of nice. Is it going to be good or enough? Probably not. Because that was not a goal on their own accord. Let's be honest. That was not them getting a goal. That was Vibin just giving one away.
Yes, I agree. But if we're going to talk about giving goals away, I think overall, YouTube has been the one really forcing their own goals, whereas Vibin has sort of had to rely on some mistakes out of YouTube. But it's been a close affair so far, even though we saw YouTube really running away with a couple of the games there.
Yeah, I'm now gonna wonder. Since we've had the first 4 games done, and there's now like a little bit left to play for, how much are nerves gonna start playing a role here? How solid do you think these players are going to be? Because these aren't the players we expected here that are used to this amount of high pressure. They're playing for a lot of money. They're playing for $210 for the winning team and 90 for the losing team. So both already in the money, but it's a lot. It's a big difference. It's a difference between each having $30 and not even being able to like buy a new controller after you smash it and break it against the wall, compared to each getting $90 and being sure that you can buy that new controller after gripping it too much and winning.
It's also a lot of freaking elbows.
Yeah, that's true too. The freaking elbows are huge with this one. Like you can get 60 more if you win. 60 more. That's nuts.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane the amount of money that is on the line here. But I think you do raise a good point about nerfs being played and nerfs being out there on the field. I think if we're just going to be looking at past results, I think there is more to expect from you choose. where they have the experience of sort of playing at this level when they won the previous RocketDash as well. But that can be both beneficial and a negative. You have these teams that really just rise to the occasion, and when it needs to happen, they do make it happen. But on the other side, you have Vibin, who really just weren't even expected to get to this point, and now they're playing like this, full without any fear and without any pressure behind them, and it's working out for them.
I gotta say, Spectre is such a solid striker. It feels nutty that we get this kind of like enjoyment, like this kind of a show from a player that I've seen do decent things, I've seen do good things, but the consistency in shots that he can do, I gotta say, BJayB, you can learn something from that. Or just pass the Blackstrike. That works. That works too.
That first touch was alright, but that still should have been read by Spectre. Now I understand why he's always upfield, because in the defense it's not too great, at least not that particular lack of touch inside of Spectre. And we're back to square one with 2-2 in the series, and now this game as well, 1-1. Teams have had their ups, have had their downs, but they do seem very competitive.
Yeah, they do seem like the first few games, it felt very swingy. It felt like, yeah, the team that won should have won this. There was no contest. But these last few games have really, like, at least this game for now feels like a game where both teams are looking good. Both teams are playing strong. So either can and deserve to take it here. And that's I like that. I like that there's a chance and it's not a one-sided affair one way or the other, and that's how we're just splitting the games up. Oh, wow, Eaze!
That
Dirty
is
man.
Beautiful. I love how he got that angle. Actually, that was so good. Just flipping around it and still getting so much speed onto the top corner. That's a great shot there by Eaze. It does seem like you choose this someone back into the match.
Yeah, I can remember casters and players roasting players for doing extra spins in their shots way back when, if we go to Season 1 and Season 2 of Rocket League. All that fancy stuff just screwed up your shots, but now it's necessary because you can get different angles, you can get harder shots with it. People have figured out that the freestylers of old are actually knew something that the rest of Rocket League just wasn't caught up on yet.
Ooh, Spectre had a chance there to tie it up again, but pushed himself a bit too much with that shot. He could have taken slightly more time and gotten the angle. Couldn't quite manage to do that. BJayB now taking 3 people out with the 50-50. His team not there to follow up though. It doesn't turn out into something too dangerous. He does grab the boost and then keeps up the pressure as well. A bit of a hint here of a blue call coming out with all the pressure that they've been able to set up.
Yes, the blue pressure front is kind of pushing into the orange side, and it's giving a bit of a weathered effect to the defending team. Vibin just feeling a little bit off right now. They're not really finding their passes, and I think that's also because there is so much more pressure coming out of Blackstrike and his team. They are just making sure that there's no free touches to be gotten anymore. There's no space to just play a slower passing play. You need to play on speed or we're just going to cruise past you.
Oh, for sure. And right now, it does seem like they're slightly struggling on that front bastion where they can't really keep up the speed too much. And it is also you choose taking matters back into their own hands. Yeah, that previous game where they were struggling, but it's almost been the only time where they were really in any danger. That first game should have been theirs as well, and they managed to sort of throw that one away.
Yup, it's been thrown away a little bit. And now see the struggle of defense here. Finally get the ball to the other side. Vibin now trying to get controlled on it in the blue half. Get an extra touch to Spectre, who gets it in front of the net. BJayB not able to get close to that one. Spectre again with another shot. Does not get it on target as Eaze now plays it away. And we have a counter attack again. No boost on Eaze. Usually means he's not going to do something super fancy, but you never know with the guy.
Oh, but that's a great read. My BJayB finally back into the series after being MIA for quite a bit there. Blackstrike with a beautiful pass to him. Once again, Spectre Struggling on the back board though there. Another bad read by him, resulting into a goal for YouChoose. And with only a minute left on the clock, I think that should be plenty the way that this game has been played out. And that should see them going towards match point as well.
Yep, that is going to be match point for them. And TriToN able to keep that one out. That could have been very risky if he hadn't had the touch there. It's been an interesting series up till now, but now that we've seen, again, the domination, when YouChoose comes out and is this dominant, it seems like Vibin shouldn't have won the games that they did, but Vibin, when they come out strong, it seems like YouChoose does not belong here, and it sometimes feels such a back and forth kind of messy thing, and I want the teams to come close together because every time we see a new game, it starts off so close, it starts off so exciting, but then one team buckles under the pressure and the other one just flows through that breaking it down.
Yeah, like every single game has been so close. I think you can correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think every single one started off with 5 minutes on the clock and 0-0.
I believe so. I need to check my records. Let's check the staff team. Yes, apparently every game starts 0-0 with 5 minutes on the clock, weirdly enough.
So
yeah, such an exciting start always, and then teams ruin it by just scoring. It's why? We want the excitement, guys. Keep it close. No, we love the goals. It's just I would love to see them go both ways a bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you. It has been the first match was very close in the sense that it ended up being very close, but it should have been YouChoose's win, but Vibin got away with it because they were 3-0 up after like the first 30 seconds. Then after that, it was the YouChoose show for 2 games. Now Vibin was a bit back in the previous one, and now this one is just back to same old, same old. I think it was somewhat closer than the series that we saw than the matches that we saw earlier on in this series, but he still feels like this is just YouChoose's series to lose.
Yeah, YouChoose has the choice here, has the power, holds destiny in their hand. I think it was what game series was that really had? There was a game series that really Dragon Age. That was Dragon Age. Was like, oh, you choose your own destiny. You are a weaver of faith, blah 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 kind of thing. And that's the kind of thing we're seeing here from YouChoose. They have that power. They can weave their own fate, but they now need to make sure that they do it.
They need to get some Dovahkiin on their side, a bit of Dragonborn for some extra strength, because right here, like you said, they have matters in their own hands. They are on match point. This is our game 6, and for Vibin, this is where it will need to happen. They will need to win this one, or they concede the win to YouChoose.
Yeah, and YouChoose becoming the 2-time champion. They are back-to-back defenders, at least. I believe BJayB and Eaze are Blackstrike being the newer addition to that setup of the team. And Eaze, I can see why Eaze won. BJayB has, he has his moments where he's brilliant. He's been a bit quiet this series, but he can still come back into that. But Eaze has been such a monster on skillful plays. Here again, just working so much space for him and his team. That was an openish net? No, not really. Eaze was there, I think.
Openish. It wasn't completely open. It could have been. With a great demo, maybe it would have opened up the play a bit more. But we talked about it a bit before in the previous game as well about the nerfs. What are you expecting out of YouChoose? Do you think they can keep up the dominant playstyle that they have so far, or are these match point nerfs really going to get to them?
I'm feeling that the match point nerfs might actually get to them. They might start choking just a little bit, and Vibin as well now being, but I think that's going to be it. I think they're going to be choking, but I think Vibin is going to be that as well, because they are now pushed against the wall. They are the underdog. They felt like they might not be able to win, but after that first game, you're like, oh, we can win. And then you start believing in yourself. You're not playing free anymore. You're not playing from the underdog position when you win that first game that convincingly, and that can throw you off mentally a little bit. So I think it's a battle of nerves. Who is less nervous? Who can play better through the nerves?
And if you have to point out someone, who will it be?
Oh, if someone's going to play through the nerves, I think it's going to be Blackstrike on the side of Well, here you
Oh, yeah.
choose.
Okay.
Ta-da!
You're right. You're right. Blackstrike with the goal and a good one too. A good follow off of that ceiling. TriToN and Crispy both very close. That one threading the needle from Blackstrike, but a great strike nonetheless. Putting his team one step into that prize money.
Yeah. The team on the other, like the player on the other side that's going to be stepping up, if they can for 5-5, and is going to be Spectre. He has shown such crazy things, and I think he might be that player that gets his team, gets on his back, and they can start working through that as well. But right now, they're falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, I think we were right in calling this one the one for you choose to win, because that's exactly what's happening here. A great pass to him, BJayB yet again. The good rate, he has done plenty. He was MIA for a game or two, but right back into the action, gun loaded and shooting everywhere and everyone, but only the targets that he wants to hit with some of the shots that he's been making here. And just half of the game to go now. 2 goals in the favor of you choose, and you've got to think this might very well be enough with him.
Yeah, the 2-goal start is good because we haven't seen anything from Vibin for the last couple of games. It's or at least the last game as well. They had a giant dry spell in goals, and if they cannot find each other, because right now they are moving the ball forward, as we see here Spectre doing, and not really following up that well. Yes, they follow up on the 50, but again, it's risky. They're leaving the goal open. They have to do a bit of a desperate save, and the ball is still in control of you choose, and that is what they want to stop. They want to throw the ball forward, but have someone there, or use dribbling strategies like this to get the ball forward and keep control.
Yeah, they need to change up something, but they should have done that quite a few games ago. We were already talking about how much they were struggling. All right, now they're being forced onto their own side of the half. TriToN now tries to get the beat, but eases up there very quickly. Blackstrike as well, wanting to get it into mid. That touch by Spectre too hard. Straight back to blue cart. Then keeps all the pressure. That's a good 50 by Spectre though. TriToN is third man back without any boost. And another demo as well. Makes it very tough for Vibin to really set up any back.
Yeah, they want to try. You see them looking for their passing plays, but they're getting read by you choose. You choose every time a passing play comes up. They're like, well, we got someone for that. Let's just take the ball away again. And you can go back to the drawing board. That's the kind of control that I expect from you choosing these players. And what 5-5 needs to change something up. They still have a minute. They could still do it. 2 goals. At least get that first one within the first 30 seconds, and you have some time to do it. But you need to do it quick. You need to do it now.
45 seconds. The task is obvious. A goal needs to be scored now. Almost out of 5-5 or the game is over. And so is their absolute Cinderella story throughout this tournament. 15 another seconds gone. TriToN on the ball, gets dunked, and Blackstart finds the goal, and with 30 seconds to go, I think this one is the one that will completely seal the deal, and I think we'll have two-time champions.
Yep, the two-time champions are rising up with 30 seconds, or less than 30 seconds. It is, we've calculated that it takes 5 seconds to score a goal. If you do it well, 5 seconds, that's all you need. But it's not going to happen anymore. These players are now, you can already see the mess that is 5-5 and the kind of unseriousness that we see you choose playing with for the last few seconds, because they know it's over. They know they've got this. This is no longer anything. And as the timer counts down, it counts up in the bank accounts of Blackstrike, of BJayB, and of Eaze as they win that beautiful prize pool. And on the other side, yes, there's a consolation prize. 5-5 fought well. They showed a good amount of skill. They showed that they can make it here. They need a bit more work to be able to come into a best of 7 to play a bit better, because I think that was mostly it. 5-5 seemed like a team that wasn't ready for a kind of best of 7 play, while you choose has been it before, has done it, and is just doing it again.
But it wasn't just its final, and that is the thing that impresses me most. If we just look at who you choose had to go through, unique stars in the semifinals, I was expecting them to falter there. but that is already when they really started to shine through. And I think this final was, in some senses, even cleaner and even easier, I would even say, than their semi-final was. They just were the better team today, and they really deservedly won this one.
Yeah, congratulations to them. And also, big shout out and thank you to all the viewers, of course, for joining us here on this entire road, this magical moment. These tournaments, they're always so much fun to see, especially at this high level. And yeah, getting to like chat with Juicy about these kind of players and how they're playing and how everything is going is a pleasure as well. So thank y'all for watching and everything. And we're not gonna go it off yet because I think Juicy has some things to say to you before we go.
Yeah, another thank you to everyone who donated the bits. Hamoud, Bubba, Dino, Karai, Bubba, everyone coming around donating a lot of bitties. Bubba also with a gifted subs. But that is just what you guys see, because there's also some stuff going on behind the scenes. A massive thank to Denisho, our producer for today, bringing you the great action and all the switching of scenes. But then there's also Alex Harvey, Bergathon, Tecker, Kier, and as Dino as well, just having everything behind the scenes where they make sure that there's a nice cash prize to play for, as well as doing all the organization. So give your thanks to them, and there's plenty of others that I'm probably forgetting about. It's been a pleasure, Kavashian. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That it has been. And I think with that, yeah, big shout outs to Juicy. Of course, follow him. He does amazing stuff all over the place. We work for some other groups that you can also see if you follow us on Twitter. So do all these lovely things. And of course, most of all, and I'm gonna just say it again because this is what it's all about. The viewers, thank you all for watching. This will be us screaming into the void if you guys weren't here. So thank you all so much for that one. I hope you all have a lovely evening. And with that, from RocketDash, from me, from everyone, we wish you a good night and on to the next one.